all right? Look at this. You drop below that 20 DMA, and look where we're gapping up to 281. We're gapping well above that 281, and look at the RSI really low. I have to say, I think there's a possibility, and it does, you know, this is why it's have TLT at the top of the list. If the bottom falls out of TLT again, and by the way, there's a 10-year bond this afternoon auction at 1 p.m. That's going to be super important. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. This might be like a historic move for gold if it happens, to see like 289.13, challenge the recent high. Everything's moving like a penny stock right now. So it is not out of the realm of possibility for gold to shoot up like another $7 today or by tomorrow morning. All right, we have to monitor things, see what happens with bonds, see what happens with the bond auctions. But this is very possible. I am positioning for a rally tomorrow. Man, I got to tell you, it's hard. I said this in pre-market that, you know, everything from a catalyst and sentiment point of view tells you sell, 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 short, short, short. After what happened with bonds last night, what happened with China. But I'm positioning for a rally tomorrow, and I tell you, I don't have a ton of conviction doing this, you know, but I'm trying to stick with my plan because I've been so accurate. And last Wednesday night, I was saying buy on Wednesday for a rally tomorrow. Now, it was for the catalyst was slightly different. I thought the catalyst at that point would be a light CPI, which is meaningless, but just as used as an excuse, right? But I never imagined that we'd be in the depths of, you know, this China escalation so fast here now that we're here. All right, so it's making it hard psychologically for me to position long. But as I said, I think the reason I'm doing it is not only sticking with my plan because I've been so spot on, but the fact that we were down so little. What did you also read something into that this morning? Like, I really thought there was a chance for this morning to be like 4, 5, 6, 7% down with what we were seeing in bonds last night. Seeing the market down just like 0.5% in pre-market, do you also see that as a sign that we could be popping soon?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Here's what I'm thinking. We have resistance at the gap here, okay, at 525. Yesterday, we went long Soxel, all right, to play today's rally. I already took 1/3 off the table. We got in at like 950, sold up there at like 1018, about 1/3, all right? Still got lots of long exposure, but I'm thinking SPY 525 is going to be resistance again today. So as I was saying yesterday, I was more convicted on SPY moving to 535. Yesterday, I gave a target of 535. We hit it in after hours. We closed at 536.70. So it hit the target perfectly. So I had very high conviction on SPY yesterday. I continue to have very high conviction today on SPY with the targets. By the way, 505 is my target. I think we can hit that today. All right. Now the deeper analysis, I'll save for the Discord, but let's put this on record on the video because I think we'll have another beautiful video. So 505, that's the target for today on SPY. Now, we've been talking about for a while the potential on SPY to move down into this range, okay? All the way down to the 200-week moving average, possibly 460, all right? I'm going to lower my target, not lower it, but just get more convicted. The target we've been telling you about recently in recent days is right here, this beautiful support right here back in April 2024. I have some pretty good conviction we can head towards 488 now, 488. Now, the next support is 535, then 505. So you got 535, then 505, but ultimately 488. Why? Well, first of all, when you go below these daily moving averages, I like to switch to the weekly. All right, weekly is where it really needs to be to get an idea of the long-term trend. Now, this is just such a beautiful 200-week moving average, which shows you this is a long-term bull line. We have been in a bull market for a long time with this 200-week moving average. And guess what? COVID crash, that was the low, right? Overshot it for a week or two, but it held it right there. Recession, back bear market in 2022, that was the low right there. This is a long-term bull line. So, I ignore all that talk about 10% as a market correction, 20% as a bear market. That's all BS to me, all right? The demarcation between bear and bull market is your long-term trend line for me, okay? So already when we violated the 200-day moving average, I was like, all right, guys, we're already in potentially a bear market, tough market here, okay? But when you pull back to the weekly, you get to see that in the long-term perspective, this is a bull support line. All right, look at this. You drop below that 20 DMA and look where we're gapping up to 281. We're gapping well above that 281 and look at the RSI really low. I have to say, I think there's a possibility, and it does, this is why I have TLT at the top of the list. If the bottom falls out of TLT again, and by the way, there's a 10-year bond this afternoon auction at 1 p.m. That's going to be super important. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. This might be like a historic move for gold if it happens, to see like 289.13, challenge the recent high. Everything's moving like a penny stock right now. So it is not out of the realm of possibility for gold to shoot up like another $7 today or by tomorrow morning. All right, we have to monitor things, see what happens with bonds, see what happens with the bond auctions. But this is very possible. I am positioning for a rally tomorrow. Man, I got to tell you, it's hard. I said this in pre-market that, everything from a catalyst and sentiment point of view tells you sell, 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 short, short, short. After what happened with bonds last night, what happened with China. But I'm positioning for a rally tomorrow, and I tell you, I don't have a ton of conviction doing this, but I'm trying to stick with my plan because I've been so accurate. And last Wednesday night, I was saying buy on Wednesday for a rally tomorrow. Now it was the catalyst was slightly different. I thought the catalyst at that point would be a light CPI, which is meaningless, but just as used as an excuse, right? But I never imagined that we'd be in the depths of this China escalation so fast here now that we're here. All right, so it's making it hard psychologically for me to position long. But as I said, I think the reason I'm doing it is not only sticking with my plan because I've been so spot on, but the fact that we were down so little. What do you also read something into that this morning? Like, I really thought there was a chance for this morning to be like 4, 5, 6, 7% down with what we were seeing in bonds last night. Seeing the market down just like 0.5% in pre-market, do you also see that as a sign that we could be popping soon?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now, we've been talking about for a while the potential on SPY to move down into this range, okay, all the way down to the 200-week moving average, possibly 460, all right? I'm going to lower my target, not lower it, but just get more convicted. The target we've been telling you about recently in recent days is right here, this beautiful support right here back in April 2024. I have some pretty good conviction we can head towards 488 now, 488. Now, the next support is 535, then 505. So you got 535, then 505, but ultimately 488. Why? Well, first of all, when you go below these daily moving averages, I like to switch to the weekly. All right, weekly is where it really needs to be to get an idea of the long-term trend. Now, this is just such a beautiful 200-week moving average, which shows you this is a long-term bull line. We have been in a bull market for a long time with this 200-week moving average. And guess what? COVID crash, that was the low, right? Overshot it for a week or two, but it held it right there. Recession, back bear market in 2022, that was the low right there. This is a long-term bull line. So, I ignore all that talk about 10% as a market correction, 20% as a bear market. That's all BS to me. All right. The demarcation between bear and bull market is your long-term trend line for me. Okay. So already when we violated the 200-day moving average, I was like, all right, guys, we're already in potentially a bear market, tough market here. Okay. But when you pull back to the weekly, you get to see that in the long-term perspective, this is a bull support line. All right, look at this. You drop below that 20 DMA and look where we're gapping up to 281. We're gapping well above that 281 and look at the RSI really low. I have to say, I think there's a possibility, and it does, this is why it's have TLT at the top of the list. If the bottom falls out of TLT again, and by the way, there's a 10-year bond this afternoon auction at 1 p.m. That's going to be super important. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. This might be like a historic move for gold if it happens, to see like 289.13, challenge the recent high. Everything's moving like a penny stock right now. So it is not out of the realm of possibility for gold to shoot up like another $7 today or by tomorrow morning. All right, we have to monitor things, see what happens with bonds, see what happens with the bond options. But this is very possible. I am positioning for a rally tomorrow. Man, I got to tell you, it's hard. I said this in pre-market that, everything from a catalyst and sentiment point of view tells you sell, 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 short, short, short. After what happened with bonds last night, what happened with China. But I'm positioning for a rally tomorrow, and I tell you, I don't have a ton of conviction doing this, but I'm trying to stick with my plan because I've been so accurate. And last Wednesday night, I was saying buy on Wednesday for a rally tomorrow. Now it was the catalyst was slightly different. I thought the catalyst at that point would be a light CPI, which is meaningless, but just as used as an excuse, right? But I never imagined that we'd be in the depths of this China escalation so fast here now that we're here. All right, so it's making it hard psychologically for me to position long. But as I said, I think the reason I'm doing it is not only sticking with my plan because I've been so spot on, but the fact that we were down so little. What did you also read something into that this morning? Like, I really thought there was a chance for this morning to be like 4, 5, 6, 7% down with what we were seeing in bonds last night. Seeing the market down just like 0.5% in pre-market, do you also see that as a sign that we could be popping soon?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, look at this. You drop below that 20 DMA and look where we're gapping up to 281. We're gapping well above that 281 and look at the RSI really low. I have to say, I think there's a possibility, and it does, this is why it's have TLT at the top of the list. If the bottom falls out of TLT again, and by the way, there's a 10-year bond this afternoon auction at 1 p.m. That's going to be super important. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. This might be like a historic move for gold if it happens, to see like 289.13, challenge the recent high. Everything's moving like a penny stock right now. So it is not out of the realm of possibility for gold to shoot up like another $7 today or by tomorrow morning. All right, we have to monitor things, see what happens with bonds, see what happens with the bond options. But this is very possible. I am positioning for a rally tomorrow. Man, I got to tell you, it's hard. I said this in pre-market that, everything from a catalyst and sentiment point of view tells you sell, 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 short, short, short. After what happened with bonds last night, what happened with China. But I'm positioning for a rally tomorrow, and I tell you, I don't have a ton of conviction doing this you know, but I'm trying to stick with my plan because I've been so accurate. And last Wednesday night, I was saying buy on Wednesday for a rally tomorrow. Now it was the catalyst was slightly different. I thought the catalyst at that point would be a light CPI, which is meaningless, but just as used as an excuse, right? But I never imagined that we'd be in the depths of, you know, this China escalation so fast here now that we're here. All right, so it's making it hard psychologically for me to position long. But as I said, I think the reason I'm doing it is not only sticking with my plan because I've been so spot on, but the fact that we were down so little. What did you also read something into that this morning? Like, I really thought there was a chance for this morning to be like 4, 5, 6, 7% down with what we were seeing in bonds last night. Seeing the market down just like 0.5% in pre-market, do you also see that as a sign that we could be popping soon?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Morning, Ben. I don't think we can hear you at the moment. Still nothing.
How about that? Can you hear me?
Yep, perfect. Awesome.
All right. Gotta figure that out. Anyway, good morning, folks. It's Tuesday, April 15th, tax day. I'm glad to be back. I was out yesterday, and it was a beautiful, beautiful day for a community. Things worked out really well. I'll tell you right off the bat here, I'm back near my high for the year, up about 110%, made back all that drawdown we had with SPY and everything else. Had a really good day yesterday at Burna, BYRN. All right, I was swinging that into my 3-day weekend. Friday picked up a big position in that, and that worked out, up 14% yesterday. I see our community did absolutely great on Bull, really great. So we'll dig into that a little bit more. But we got the heads up on Bull by Ross, a participant in our community, member of our Discord, on Thursday. And then the Godfather picked up the reins on that, and the whole community just killed it on Bull warrants. So we'll talk about that as well. Let's just do a little bit of macro first, and then we'll dig into some of these specific stocks. You can see here, just as a preview, the stocks I have on my watch list here. We got SenesTech. So actually, guys, we're going to be here till at least 11:30 a.m. So settle in, grab a cup of coffee. This is a free preview of our morning.
Cheers, Ben.
Yeah. There's a free preview of our pre-market prep that we do every morning, along with the live trading. Welcome, Ross. So we'll be here for a while, all right? And then we're going to take you till 11 o'clock when we do an interview, CEO interview update with SenesTech, ticker symbol SNES. We've talked to him a couple times, but this time we brought him on to talk tariffs, impact of tariffs on the company, and also update on the urban opportunity. Selling their, mouse or rat, selling their rat solution in New York City, Chicago, Baltimore, cities like that. So 2 very big things people are interested in. So that'll be at 11 a.m. All right. So all this time also, we got our Discord going. Let me just move that over to my other screen. Been getting really, really good alerts in our Discord. So some stuff will be in there that might not make it onto the free show over here. So we'll be talking about some entries and exits in our Discord. If you want to join our Discord, pre-market prep 30. Is that the code? Pre-market?
Yep, pre-market prep 34, 30% off recurring.
Pre-market prep 30% off recurring. That's storytrading.com/. Discord. All right, look at the macro. Look at these moving averages we're right at. I would say from a technical perspective, I would be careful here just because we're at the 20-day moving average and we're near the high that occurred when Trump put on that pause initially on April 9th. So you see the high of day 548.62 on Wednesday. Yesterday hit 544, so a little pullback here this morning at 533. That's the SPY. QQQ, pretty much the same thing, 467 the high, hit 465 yesterday. So I would be careful here just from a technical perspective. And look, I wasn't around over the weekend, but I read up a little bit, and there seems to still be a lot of uncertainty and waffling regarding tariffs. So we are not yet in that place of clarity, right? You know, I guess Friday or Saturday. You know what? Let me just bring up the Apple chart here for a second, because we were looking at this on Friday, and with the price action being so strong, I was suggesting that maybe there's some inside info and there's going to be an exception for Apple, right? Remember that, Rhett? Turned out to be true.
Yep.
Came out Saturday. So you can see what happened here. Inside info on Friday, sell the news on Monday. Very clear what happened with the candles in there. But you know, the tariffs and the policies keep changing by the day, and you know, it's not clear, you know, where we're at with that yet. But I will say overall, I think it still indicates that we have a Trump put in place. All right, that's what I mentioned on last Wednesday when that news came. If you look at the 200-week moving average, all right, this is my long-term bull line. I've been saying this all along, that long-term, we're still in a bull market. The bull support is around 460, which could still happen, all right, and still be in a long-term bull market. So 460 could happen as we enter earnings season, and if we get some warnings and some, you know, lack of guidance and things like that, it's possible we trade all the way down to 460. But I'm feeling very good about this long-term bull line holding now that we know we have a Trump. See what the, you know, how to quantitatively measure that Trump put and exactly what it looks like, but it's clear we have it. All right, so that's why right now I'm bullish on this 200-week moving average holding its trend line, but that's a long way down. You know, if we do get a bad earnings season, 538 to 460 would definitely be painful. But you got to pick your spots, and you know, I'm high cash level right now in the trading account. So plenty of opportunities here. Look, we've navigated this here in our Discord. Personally, as I said, I'm up 110% for the year. I made back the entire drawdown. There's a lot of people in our Discord up much higher than that. So plenty of opportunity here, even through the uncertainty. All right, so we covered buy the rumor, sell the news on Apple. We got the macro covered over here. Let's head on over real quick to ERs. There are no ERs of note I was interested in. These are old ones. I put the list out last night in our Discord of the stocks with ERs this morning. I was not interested in any of them. LVMH apparently put a warning out this morning, so you can look at that. That's definitely, you know, a tick towards the wrong direction in terms of consumer softness. That can maybe help the SPY eventually make it there to that 200-week moving average. So be aware of that. Now let's move into our top list over here. Actually, before I do that, let me show you my top long-term holdings. You can see Burna up here, up 14%. Actually, it's not showing the percentage anymore, but that was just a beautiful day over here. Other top holdings in my long-term account: Kodak, PBI, Tesla, Root, ASTS, Hood, TLT, no longer. Actually, TLT thesis didn't work out for me for now. I still have some long-term call options in December in the trade account. Still have a position in my retirement account, but I did do the popular thing, and I rotated some TLT into gold last week. So let's head on over to the top list and just checking out some notes in our Discord coming through. Also yesterday, so we killed it on Burna yesterday. Our community killed it on Bull, but it looks like our community also killed it on the rare earth thesis that was coming out yesterday with China blocking the rare earth, and our community was in TMC. Look at that. Up 27%. So I was out of the office. I missed this one. Up 27%. I see some people on Discord taking some profits right now on that. So congrats everyone who's around yesterday and followed the Godfather's lead on TMC. All right, we have a watch list for rare earths. Let's see what we got in here. Look at that. TMC up 26%, MP 7%, pre-market. REEMF. Wow, that doesn't trade, I don't think, until 9:30 a.m., but it was up 32% yesterday. Look at these stocks, 30%, 50% on TMRC. Is that right now? No, that was yesterday too. So these three don't trade until the open at 9:30 a.m. But rare earths, big move yesterday, and our community was all over it with TMC, getting 45% during the day, another 26% this morning, with some sells coming in right now, being alerted in our Discord. So congratulations if you were in TMC. All right, let's head back on over and see what we can focus on today. If you had missed all this stuff, what can we do? All right, Berna. So Berna is a top position, as you saw in my long-term account. Also was my largest position coming into yesterday in my short-term account. So short-term account doing really good, as I said, back at the highs, up about 110%, and that was thanks to Berna. I did take a little bit off this morning, 2055 to 2070, but that's just because I'm overweight. If you look at the technicals here, the target to me, you got these two candles at 2150 to the 50 DMA at 2250 or so. So that's the target range. The RSI supports it, that it can make that move. It's not overbought yet. So 2150 to 2250, your target range on Berna. The other reason, though, I took about 15% off here this morning, taking some profits, is first I got to pay myself, have a new policy in place to take money out every time you have a good trade. So got to fund that. So it took a little bit out to do that. But also what I talked about earlier with SPY QQQ being at the 20 DMA, just based on technicals alone, maybe the market needs a pullback. So I'm taking that opportunity to take some profits a little bit on Berna, even though today it's way up at the top of the watch list. And I think there's definitely a possibility of 2150 to 2250 this week and maybe today. All right, but you got to take some profits on the way up. So 2043 was a close, 2058 by 2080. We had a stellar earnings report. This was a huge win for us on earnings day on April 10th. The community piled into call options that day, even though it's not a huge open green candle, but we were buying right here. You see that tail? We're buying right at the open. A lot of people wanted to call options, made a mint on Wednesday, and then made another mint here this morning, actually yesterday, on the continuation and the breakout over the 200 DMA on excellent earnings report. So Berna at the top of our list. We'll be looking at that today. And as I said, SenesTech at 11 a.m. Gave up about from 213 all the way to tariff worry. So we're gonna talk to the CEO soon. Is that warranted? All right. Is there some macro or tariff-oriented concerns that warrants the move from $2, 213 all the way to 130? Already bounced back up here to 170. Small market cap, but this does have the potential to be a multi-bagger if they reach profitability before they run out of money. All right, definitely a big if, but there's definitely also a huge opportunity there. So very interested in that. And just so everyone knows, SenesTech is a paid sponsor of our story trading community. So we'll be doing this interview with them. We'll be compensated for that. But I don't take any clients, don't do any interviews unless I think there is potential for the story to really be profitable for people, and I believe there is here in SenesTech, and I do own some shares of SenesTech because of the multi-bagger potential. So I'm going to be getting an update on the CEO at 11 a.m. on that. So Berna, SenesTech on our radar. By the way, our interviews have moved markets multiple times on SenesTech. All right, so that's why I'm noting it here, not just for the schedule, but also as a top pick potentially for the day. It depends how he performs on the interview, but his the CEO, Joel Fruendt, has given us some really good nuggets during the interviews in the past. So it's possible he'll do that again today. I do plan on asking him about updates on the New York City rollout, which if it expands to full production, it'll definitely take the company to profitability. All right, so that's a huge update discussion we're gonna have. All right, I'm not expecting any huge updates during the interview. But definitely he can drop hints during the interview about what's going on with New York City and other things. So that's Berna, SenesTech. All right, now Bull. Bull, as I said, our community absolutely demolished this. It was my mistake. We got the heads up on Thursday, all right, when this thing was like, what was it, like $10 or something? Oh no, it was 14. Okay, then Friday it dipped down to 954 on Friday. And Friday was a travel day for me. I wasn't totally focused, but it's not an excuse. I still should have picked some up. I should have picked some up because you know what? You're looking at the Webull app right now. And I'm on the Webull app like 12 hours a day. I mean, there's a desktop, but on my phone.
and I think Webull is much, much, much better than Robinhood. And for me, if you look at Robinhood here, at a market cap of 39 billion, all right, and then you switch back here, that's 39 billion. Webull is now 29 billion, but when we were told about this, Webull was like 5 billion or something like that. All right, so why didn't I take that bet? Shame on me, but a lot of people in our community did take that bet. Webull up 374% yesterday. Unbelievable, man. People rolling in the dough in our community, thanks to Ross and the Godfather on Webull. There's a fundamental valuation analysis that the Godfather did, and it's in our Discord on Webull. You can take a look at that in terms of fair value. And there are also warrants to trade for Webull. And I gotta say, the Godfather was all over this on Friday, up 200%. So people have been banking on Bull and Webull in our Discord community. So if you want to see that research, head on over and get the trade alerts. Head on over, join our Discord at storytrading.com/Discord. All I'll say is, the obvious is that if a bull, maintains its pricing over the next few weeks, then the warrants will explode. All right, the warrants, everyone knows for SPACs, $11.50 conversion, so $2.70. You're talking about a $14.50 price is your break even. We're at 53, but the reason there's a discount, which everyone knows, reason is there's a discount is because there's a lockup period, and you won't be able to exercise those warrants for like another. Do you know the exact date on that, Rhett? It's
No,
30 days. I think it's 30 days from Friday, so probably like April 11th or April 12th, something like that. Okay, but there's an opportunity there. If you've done your research and Godfather has, you can look at that. What is the fair value of Bull? Where do we think Bull can trade at 3 weeks from now? And that'll tell you where you buy Bull W, where you sell it, where you buy Bull, where you sell it. So this is a focus of our community today is going to be Bull and SenesTech and Berna. All right, let's keep on going. There's other news to talk about. Newsmax up 11%. Not so much news, but a big pullback. Oh my gosh. Big pullback into a valuation raise. Now, I haven't looked at the revenue or the metrics to know what a fair value for Newsmax is. I will tell you just from a brand perspective, right? How well known is like Newsmax versus Fox News or CNN or whatever. To me, Newsmax is becoming a ubiquitous brand here in America, at least with half of the country. And $3 billion market cap, doesn't seem as out of whack as what we had up there, which is like a $30 billion market cap, which is insane. I will tell you the little I know about Newsmax valuation. I heard from Ben Shapiro on the All In podcast last week, where he was talking about this craziness, and he has a company that might be doing an IPO at some point, Daily Wire. So he knows a little bit about the industry. Shapiro was saying he thought that Newsmax could settle into a fair value range of around $3 billion. So this has come down from 30 billion to 3.3 billion as of yesterday, up 11% this morning. Little turnaround candle there after so many red days. So Newsmax potentially in play. All these like low float stocks and IPO stocks or de-SPAC stocks, they're kind of trendy right now. So that's why I'm kind of grouping these together here. We got Webull, Newsmax, and then American Rebel, AREB. I really got to take time to research this. I have, and I hope someone in our community can look at this. So this is a stock I've known for a long time as a like MAGA stock, a Trump stock, but I've not researched the recent news, all right, that sparked this rally. Someone's got to do that. If it's not me, someone else got to take that. But this looks like it's consolidated for some time, holding the 20 DMA. There was a little bit of news out yesterday. American Rebel 13G filing shows Intracoastal Capital reported 9.99% stake as of April 8th. I don't know if that's a new stake, a bigger stake, a smaller stake. I have no idea. The headline looks like it might imply, it's a new stake. But again, there was looked like a significant catalyst to spark this rally, and then they raised a lot of money off of that. And now you got this consolidation on the technicals, and now you got this institution with a 10% position. Maybe AREB is going to be in play, but I definitely can use some help on the fundamentals on AREB to give us some conviction and some context of where the low could be in American Rebel stock. It's $7-8 million market cap company. I think that's probably before the dilution of the recent raise they just did. However, but I think that one is going to be in play today as well. All right, then we got, let me jump down to ASPI, another one which the Godfather has been all over recently, and there was news this morning. Actually, I bought some this morning. Did I get the full fill? I think I only got a partial fill. It was only a partial fill at 674. So ASPI, this is, I don't know a lot about this yet, it's a nuclear play, but there was some news out this morning that they intend to pursue a spinoff of their nuclear assets. There we go, aiming to execute spinout of QLE, a separate public company during second half of 2025. In my experience, news of spinouts are always immediate positive catalysts, and it's like a sum of parts that are being unlocked. I don't know the math on this, but the Godfather briefly did speak out on this. Asked him this morning, and he agreed with me that this is this has been the whole thesis, and this is the great catalyst. So 689 by 690. I alerted this at 674 when I added more, and I wish I got a full fill. I put a bottom in at 674, I guess. Just got a partial fill. So ASPI, I'm going to move that up. I really like the price action in ASPI here this morning. So I'm going to move that up the list. I kind of like seeing this bull down because I missed it. Sorry if you're in it. I'm like, go to 10. I want to get in, man. So, all right. So bull down 17%. I wouldn't mind the pullback so I can get in. But in any case, let's move down the list over here. While it was gone yesterday as well, VKTX had a pop yesterday on Pfizer discontinuing their GLP-1 trial, and there's speculation that, hey, Pfizer may not have to buy VKTX or a competitor. I think GCPR was the other one I think that was being mentioned in the news articles I was looking at. Let me just pull up my GLP-1 list. It was GPCR. The GPCR and Viking both having a good day. I still own VKTX in my retirement account. Man, am I getting hit on that. But I'm adamant about keeping a portion. And you know what? It'll either go to zero or they'll get bought out at 60, 70, 80, $100, you know. So I'm going to keep that VKTX. A little bit of news there. We'll keep our eye on VKTX. Let's look at the daily chart. That's a tough candle, though, man. Almost happy I wasn't here yesterday because I might have gotten caught up in that yesterday. 50 DMA resistance didn't quite get there at $28. 20 DMA at 25.27, back below it. You know, this has been a hard one to trade. I don't think it'll be a top 5 pick today because of that price action, but I'm going to keep that in my retirement account for a possible buyout one day. Other news here, man, there's so much. Rocket Lab, okay, there was some news on Rocket Lab last night that hypersonic deals. It says here, right, Rocket Lab is rising after hypersonic deals in the US and UK. I'm not sure that it was deals. I think they were invited to participate in the bidding. Let's see what this says over here. 2 new opportunities for its HASE launch system, suborbital hypersonic testbed launch vehicle derived from Rocket Lab's Electron rocket. Let's see. The U.S. Air Force selected HASE to participate in a $46 billion contract. And then the UK Ministry of Defense selected Rocket Lab for its hypersonic technology and capability development. 1.3 million growth, rapidly developed. Let's read this. Brett, you've been looking at this. You know more about this? When I was reading it, it looked like at least to participate in the bidding process. Ability to contribute toward the collective security. Do you know anything more about this? Am I right about that?
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much right on that aspect. When I first saw it, I hopped in as soon as I saw the headline, and I'm actually down a little over 2.5% on it right now because I was chasing it after hours yesterday.
Okay, so I'm not sure if this 1.3 billion program has been awarded or also similar to, you know, the language here selected for to participate. It's so I think for the most part, this is a bidding process they still have to be part of. They were invited to participate. Definitely for the U.S. Air Force. That's the language there. So be careful on this one. It might not be ready to fly. This is pulled back from $33. I can't really speak to the valuation at $8.7 billion, but maybe this is a catalyst that can give you a little bit more conviction for a long-term hold. That's how I look at it here, just because I didn't have a chance to really look at the details of that. I used to own Rocket Lab in my retirement account, and I guess I sold it early. I probably sold it. I think I had it at like $7 or $8, and I sold it at like 10 or 12 or something like that. That went to 33. So maybe on this pullback, that's potentially something I would look at to add to a long-term account here. Could it outperform today? Sure, it could. I just don't have enough conviction because I didn't look at the details of that contract, and I really need to in order to have conviction. So 2139 is resistance from the other day, which exactly matches the 50 DMA at 2138. So that's a possibility today, 2138, 2139 on Rocket Lab, but it's different, as I said, as a straight up a word. So I'm not sure that I'll be chasing that one. All right, some news on Netflix here. This was already been outperforming over when the market was pulling back. Netflix was holding up better than others because of this perception sentiment that was being shared that they're not impacted by tariffs. And then apparently Netflix came out. Was it a New York Times report this morning? Who did it? It was. Let's look at it real quick. There's a report out, Wall Street Journal, reported late Monday, last night, all right, that citing people who attended the annual business review meeting at Netflix, that they are setting their sights to reach a $1 trillion market cap. There was something in here about doubling their revenue, or was it earnings? Here it is. Yep, annual revenue, doubling their annual revenue. So basically also comment in there that they think if there's a recession that they can benefit from people going out to the theaters less. So that'll benefit Netflix. So Netflix in the news here, multiple days of catalyst here, and this news from the Wall Street Journal basically backing up the sentiment that was developing last week. So I don't have a position in that. Probably not going to make that a top pick today. It's 9:27 a.m. So what we want to do here is lock in to what are the top picks for the day going to be. And I'm going to keep Berna definitely in the top 5, ASPI in the top 5. So I'm keeping Berna, even though I sold some, right? That's just a matter of discipline that I wanted to sell some on the top. But Berna, that 2150 to 2250 is in play. We'll keep SPY at the top of the list, okay, because that can always impact our stocks in this volatile period right now with tariffs. ASPI, we're going to keep this over here with that spin out news. You got some candle resistance up here at 7. So $7, some resistance. We'll see if it breaks that, then you can maybe move into much higher numbers. But I don't know enough about ASPI to have strong conviction in this. All right, so I picked them up at 674. Maybe I'll buy the dips, leaning a little bit on the conviction from the Godfather on that. So Berna and ASPI, ASPI definitely be in the top 5 today. SenesTech will be in the top 5 just because of the possible news that will be coming or hints that might be coming during interview at 11 a.m. Webull down 20%. Ooh, I just want this to crash. Sorry, I'm being so selfish. I don't know who's in this, but I'm like down 20%. Let's go. All right, I want this to crash so I can get in on Webull. So down 20%. We'll look at that. That'll be in the top 5 as well, at least to monitor, along with the warrants there, Bull W. And I think that'll be it. I don't want to be chasing rare earths today. All right. I think it's time to take some profits on the rare earths, TMC et al.
Another one to keep in mention that Mike just mentioned inside the Discord is SALM.
What is that? Is that a rare earth?
Any stock that Donald Trump Jr. and Laura are investing in. Conservative broadcaster, it says.
Was there okay,
this was news yesterday, so I'm just
oh, I see. 16 hours ago.
Thanks, Mike.
Right, was that right after the close yesterday? Salem Media Group announced a deal with Donald Trump Jr. Was that okay? That may have been right after the close yesterday. Has it not traded since the news came out? It looks like it may have not traded. This is a pink sheet stock. It does not have extended hours trading. It looks like that news came out after the close yesterday. It's a good call out. That could be in play here. You got to make room for it. Delete something here, guys. What the heck am I going to delete? I'm already at 500 stocks. It's 929. Uh-oh, I got to move fast. Because I like that idea. I like having that there. Royal Caribbean. All right, whatever. I'm going to delete Royal Caribbean. We'll get to it in the ERs. It's there. So, I'm running behind.
Nice.
Yeah, Salem is opening 70 by 78 cents.
Nice movement. Rocket Lab at the moment.
I'm going to grab a very tiny position in Salem. Actually, it might not even let me. No. No, it's not letting. It's flying. It's flying. This thing's not letting me get in. And no one's getting in. Oh my god. No one's getting in Salem. Can someone read the news? 85%. I heard of Salem and I saw the headline there. Gets investment from Donald Trump Jr. What's the market cap on this thing? Very small. I mean, this thing can be up. This thing can probably be up hundreds of percent today, to be honest with you. Just based on that news and market cap. It's a pink sheet. That's the problem.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, I got in it. It looks like I got some. Did I fill? No, partial fill. I just can't get in.
So I put for today's top picks, I put Burna, ASPI, SNES, and Bull.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't even get into this stuff. Oh, I got in. I got in some sale, very small, because I don't know what the hell's going on here. All right, but I got some at 95 cents. That's crazy. All right, so let's look at ASPI. Bull 22%. Look at those warrants. All right, so I'm in some Salem.
There we go. Now I'm green.
What are you in? What do you get?
Well, I was swinging that Rocket Lab position. My average cost was 20.25.
Nice.
It's ripping right now.
There you go. Good job on Rocket Lab. So Rocket Lab, let me go review those targets here. 21.39. That's your target on Rocket Lab. Congratulations.
That's what I was looking for.
You had the right read on Rocket Lab. I did not play that one.
The other one I'm still in. I still have some profits. It's pulling back right at the moment.
Bull W.
Is TMC. You gotta watch that.
I want to read this news on Salem. So I got in at 95 cents. We're already at 108. Yahoo Finance. The Webull news feed is terrible. I guess switch over here. All right. So SALM announces landmark deal with Donald Trump Jr. and Lara Trump, singing a bold new era in conservative media. This is a known brand, by the way, Salem Media Group, just like Newsmax is. Let's see. I'm just reading these. But Salem acquired a 30% stake in MXM News, a mobile news aggregation app co-owned by Mr. Trump Jr., and entered a long-term service agreement under which Trump Jr. and Salem will work together to develop a series of high-impact promotional and growth initiatives. With this historic deal, Trump Jr. becomes a key stakeholder of Salem and a strategic force behind its future. Salem Media is positioned to become the home for fearless, unapologetic, conservative content. In tandem, Salem has entered into strategic agreement with Lara Trump, blah, blah, blah. These aren't just partnerships, they're power moves. With a revitalized balance sheet and unmatched cultural firepower, Salem Media is uniquely positioned to define. Okay, so what happened? Rocket Lab, there you go. Good job.
Hey, check out HPE right now.
What is that, Hewlett Packard?
Yeah, it is.
What's going on?
To build over 1.5 billion stake, and Elliott said to build over 1.5 billion stake in HP.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna focus. I'm gonna focus on our smaller caps right now. And I'm out of room on the top list. I gotta delete another one about Hewlett Packard in there. So we'll get to that. All right. So let's see here. So that Salem news looks great. What is the market cap here? It's a little bit of a shame because if this wasn't a pink sheet, it'd attract even more attention than it is. What's that?
Rocket Labs is taking off.
Yeah, man, beautiful. So that's 21.39. I'm missing that, but if you're in it, I would exit completely right around 21.25, 21.30, a little bit short of that 21.39 target. That's what I would do right there.
Getting up there. I think I'm gonna put a sell order in at 21.10.
So okay, I really want to focus on these guys here, Salem Media and Bull. I'm already up nice on Salem Media now. Up $1,000 on it, but Man, where can this Salem media go today? That is fascinating. Let's look at the chart. Salem, okay, we got the 200-week moving average up at 140. Dude, I might pick up more Salem media. The only thing that gives me hesitation, it's a pink sheet, so you're not going to get the participation of everyone. You're not going to see the Robinhood and the Webull people buying. It's probably blocked on Webull as well. That's my only hesitation here. But it's moving. It's moving. Haven't added any more yet. Just that 95-cent tranche for now. SNES pulling back on that news. That one not working out yet. Good call on Rocket Lab. It looks like the winners for today are going to be Rocket Lab, Salem Media, and look at this outperformance. People really catching on to what I talked about this morning on the bull warrants, the Webull warrants doing well. That's a great sign. Up 22, 24%, while the stock is down 17%. So this is looking good. I was late to the party, but I did get in here this morning. Not a huge size, but I should be green at this point on the position. It's not showing me my average purchase price right now. So Salem Media, Webull warrants, ASPI not working yet. SenesTech coming on at 11 a.m. Look at Netflix. Netflix Go from that news that leaked last night from the meeting. My MRX is up 5%. I didn't even get a chance to talk about HYDTF with some news this morning and earnings coming out this week or two. Big pullback and a pop over the 50 DMA. So that is in play as well. Okay, I think I'm going to move Netflix and HYDTF.
Rocket Labs keeps rocketing, so it's nice. Closing in near the target.
Yeah, I would be all out if you get near that target.
Yeah. We're getting there fast.
Yeah.
There's someone else that was following me on this play too.
Good
they
call.
Put it out there. I think it was
high of day on the bull warrants, guys. Salem Media. High of day. Look at Salem Media and the Webull warrants. And Rocket Lab. There you go. Top three. That's your top three for the day. Look at that. And Berna. We got Berna heading to her target. Any discussion on our Discord on Salem Media? Did anyone else chime in on that?
Oh no, they're talking about ASPI right now.
ASPI. Okay.
What'd you get filled out on that?
On what, ASPI? I'm down 674.
Trying to decide
Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab heading towards a target. Let's see if I have time now to put HPE bit in here. Look at that. What was the news on HPE? Let's see. Delete. I'm gonna do that later. All right, Rocket Lab getting close. I would be at least like 70% out at this point near our target. 20. Yo. 2139, 20. Yeah. Should have followed you, right? I should have followed you.
Yeah, I should have played calls on it, but I don't know. Spreads are huge on them.
Good job.
Let's see. Getting close.
Wow, look at Netflix.
Close.
Oh.
All right.
Netflix calls would have been good.
Oh,
We have the right things on our screen.
21.10 to the dime. I've got partial. All right, I'm all out. I'm all out.
Good job. There you go. So 50 DMA at 21.24, candle resistance at 21.39. Somewhere in there is going to be the high of the day. My guess. We'll see.
Yeah, let me put that in there.
All right, look at Webull now. Webull, this is what I want. Sorry. Webull suspended to the downside. Let's see if we can open in the 30s or something. That'll be fun. And then maybe I can finally get a position either in the stock or more warrants at a better price. Rocket Lab 21.20. And there's that 50 DMA at 21.24. Wow, good call, man.
Yeah.
Should have followed you. Should have followed you on that.
Nice.
Burna's looking good. Still have a big position in that. There's just too much going on for me to try Netflix calls. What's that?
Did you follow on?
Yeah.
Hold on, sorry, I just got a thing pop up on my thing. Did you follow the TMC play or no?
Oh no. I wasn't around yesterday, so I missed the whole thing. I'm not buying it today. Yeah. I missed that yesterday. All right, so congrats, everyone nailed that.
Look at that, yeah. Hit it almost to the dime, Ben. Look at that.
The high of day 21.20. Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? And it's
that's a double resistance.
21.23. Yeah. Yep.
That's a double resistance. 21.23 and 21.39. Look, it could always go higher. It could always break it and explode, but that's the low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit was your alert to get in, and this alert here, that resistance to get out. So, I think it's time to move on from that, in my opinion. Good job. Look at this Netflix.
Yeah. Now time to trade the indices. Let's check them out.
That's Rhett's thing, by the way. He likes to trade the indices, so we have a channel in our Discord on that. I did trade the indices pretty successfully last few weeks, but I don't do it in markets like this. I only do it in directional markets where there's a lot of fear or a lot of hype. Then I'll do the indices, but on a normal day where it's just like technical chop, that's not my strength. That is a shred of Rhett's. So we have a channel for that in our Discord if you're interested in that.
Yeah,
so
it's in and out too. So
yeah. All right, so I got my eyes on. Oh shoot, that Netflix was. Whoa, that was a call off. Probably paid to open. But in any case, I got my eyes on
DRS. DRS.
I'm not familiar with that company.
DRS. Leonardo.
Up 1.4%. Leonardo DRS. I have no idea what that is. I don't see any recent news, at least on the Webull feed, so I'm not going to comment on that. Rocket Lab broke the resistance. Did it? No. 21.39. 21.39 was the candle resistance. It broke the 50 DMA by a couple pennies. 21.39 the candle resistance.
Let's check out ASTS on this. Maybe somewhat following.
ASTS on what? On Rocket Lab sympathy?
On Rocket Lab.
Yeah, it's not strong enough for me. ASTS, by the way, one of my largest positions in my retirement account. Don't currently own it in the trade accounts. Waiting to get more proximal to a catalyst. There's a catalyst coming soon. Launch is coming out May. There's going to be a launch of the satellite. So
they haven't then.
What's that?
They haven't set a date yet. I think they're still trying to see for the weather.
Okay. So the exact date not set, but it's scheduled to be sometime in May. So when that data's set, I think I'll be playing ASTS in the short-term account again. Did Webull reopen? No.
No, it's still suspended.
Okay, so Webull's still suspended. I'm looking for a bigger pullback here in Salem Media. See if I can collect more shares on that. Again, it's a shame this is pink sheet because that makes it less attractive to traders. What a great call on Rocket Lab, right?
Hey, he's saying DRS was a long-term play for you?
Me? No, I've never heard of DRS. He must have it wrong.
Well,
It's a beautiful chart, though. I have no idea what they do or art. Technology, advanced defense technology. Is that what it is? Advanced defense technology. I don't have time to look into it now. Let me add it to the defense. Alright, added that to our defense watch list. We can maybe look into it later. Bull is reopened. I'm looking for opportunities, either in the common or the warrants.
pretty soon, options should come up, right?
But usually a few days. This is not IPO. This is a DSPEC. Like an IPO, it's usually a few days, like 3 days or so later. I mean, it's not automatic. Someone has to request it with a CME, CBOE.
Oh, DRS was the Godfathers. That's why. Actually, I think I did.
And Netflix on that news. Doing well.
Yeah, he called this one out when it was low.
Look at this. Netflix, we flagged it on our show, but didn't trade it. It's doing really well here.
Yeah, you know what? I should have caught on to that because you said multiple catalysts. Oh,
Yep, it was. I know.
1 plus 1 equals 3.
That's
Dang
right.
it.
You're
What was
learning.
I thinking? I didn't even think.
You are learning story trading style. 1 plus 1 equals 3.
Man.
We just broke that resistance, by the way, on Rocket Lab. Next resistance I see is 2216 is the next resistance I see. 2216 if you're playing that.
Good job.
Wow.
About that.
Look at this. This Rocket Lab and Netflix. Not in either, but happy to guide you guys on it.
Netflix. Let's see. Man, those call options would have been nice too, because you can go in nice size.
Yep. Yeah, they can on those. Check the SPY. Okay. Take a peek at the NASDAQ here.
Let's see. I added these Rocket Lab calls to my watch list. Oh, when I added them to now, guess how much they're up, Ben?
They must be up at least 100%.
They're up 194%.
Yeah.
But look, made a profit. That's all that matters. It was a good trade.
All right, take a look at the bull chart on the common shares here. Right. What are you thinking in terms of support? It's a nice little area right here. Who's this? Right here, 41.81. How low did we get? 44. 41.81 also matches there. 41. Low 40s. Low 40s is a nice area on.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Let me check on my Kodak. That's my other 2 largest positions in my trade account are Berna and Kodak. No proximal catalyst just yet on Kodak. We're waiting for
coming up too.
Pharma tariffs. What's that?
Mike just made a good point. They have earnings coming up too. I think it's Thursday.
Who's that? Who?
Huh? Mike in our Discord.
No, who has earnings?
Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. Okay.
Yeah, Thursday. I think I did have that rent. Yeah, I did. Wrote that down.
That Rocket Lab and Netflix. Berna hanging in there. Bull now suspended to the upside. I'm going to take this opportunity to buy more warrants. Just bought a few Webull warrants. They're in the low 40s. Sale and media bouncing back up. I did not increase my position. I was looking for a deal, but whatever. 95 cents is my average. Rocket Lab's now heading to that secondary target of 2216.
Yeah, the thing is on a tear today. 22. Yeah, it's getting there. It's going there fast.
Oh, these comments. What are these comments? Okay. Wow, look at that. Rocket Lab 2216.
I think that was the play of the day, then, Netflix.
It was. Good for you, man. That was beautiful.
Trying to find some resistance on SPY here. SPY's just on a tear right now.
All right. Yeah, SPY is looking good. Yesterday's high is 544.28. 548.62 is the real number you gotta look at. Although
If we can break that high of yesterday's high, then we can make a move to like 548-ish.
yeah, I'm not. You do you. I'm gonna focus on individual stocks. To me, it's a little bit too unpredictable right now. We totally nailed it on the surge down and everything, but
Yes,
here for
we
me it's
did.
unpredictable. Any comments in the Discord on ASPI?
No. Nothing yet.
SenesTech up.
Yeah, look at man, it's this whole sector. Look at said Lunar as well, and it's ripping today as well. Up almost 6%.
Yeah. Makes sense. Look at this volatility in Webull. I think maybe we should start trading the common shares.
Yeah, it'd be down. Spent it again. Crazy. I put out a tweet yesterday. I said, could this thing get to like earlier in the day? Yesterday,
Right.
could this thing get to 100? And then it just started ripping. I thought it was going to hit 100 yesterday.
Wait, what are you talking about?
For Webull.
Oh, you guys had a lot of fun without me. Oh my gosh. That was crazy.
Wow. Let's see.
I'm going to do a little more research on sale and media here.
It's back open, by the way.
What's that?
Webull's back open.
Yeah. Okay. Look at that chug along. Impact on Salem stock and valuation. Okay. That was a nice pickup during that halt that I picked up on the bull warrants. Oh man, I wish I was here yesterday with you guys doing Webull. Okay, so Salem Media, doing some AI research here. Oh, they have a lot of debt, Salem Media. At this point, this is just a sentiment play. Let me see. Media. You know, because of the Newsmax thing, Salem Media is in the same sector as Newsmax. So this is going to get a big premium, a sentiment premium. I think Salem Media was Rush Limbaugh's radio station was owned by Salem Media, if I'm not mistaken.
Taking a quick scalp.
Yeah, Netflix just keeps going. I missed that one. 974, 975 is the next resistance on Netflix. 975. Mike, is this true? Hold on, I have to look at that. Hold on.
Oh, there we go.
Hold on a second. Where's the article?
Hmm.
Come on.
All right, I'm out.
Rocket Lab hit that secondary target perfectly. Now it's done for the day. 22.16.
Yeah, market. I'm catching this move down right now. I'm like 20% trades.
What are you doing? Spy?
Yeah, puts caught that top.
Right.
I'm just gonna get out 220.
So okay, Salem Media. Going to Salem Media, fresh off limit, all corporate long-term that is almost completely.
Nice.
So interesting here. Salem Media. Paid off all their debt, long-term debt. I don't know about short-term debt though. Hold on. Let's see. Debt. Fresh off eliminating all corporate long-term debt. Fresh off, that must have been, maybe that's a separate press release.
It's freezing in here.
Recently, let's see this here. "18 days ago, Charlie Kirk surges to #1. Salem Media, the next generation conservative media, dominate charts." Okay, hold on. Charlie Kirk moving into Dennis Prager slot. I gotta tell you, with this Newsmax, the way it performed,
What'd you get filled at? Did you
what are you talking about?
for Salem?
95 cents, but I'm adding more right now at 107.
Man, I tell you what, Mike was all over that those moves and like TMC and all those yesterday. Just give me out all those tickers on the morning show.
Oh yeah. Oh, he was on the show with you? Oh, in the chat?
Yeah, and I didn't act on any of them.
Oh, Right, well.
But he was all over that move before it even happened.
All right, added more Salem Media at 107. I just wish it was not Pink Sheet. If this was not Pink Sheet, ooh. Netflix 975 is that next target I told you about. Okay.
Let's catch another moving spy.
Yeah, looks like that 975 is coming on Netflix. Break the 50 DMA, then you look at the candle resistance, which is right there, 977, and here 975, double top. If you break that, you go to 1,000. But maybe that happens with earnings later this week.
Ben, you watch Netflix a lot or no? You like watch those others, like Amazon Prime and all that, or Prime Videos?
I don't know. I flip back and forth. I don't have like a particular show I watch. I like watching like action movies, CIA movies, and stuff like
that's
that.
what I like
I just
too.
go and I just check both the Netflix setting to that 975 target. Man, I didn't play this, but if you're in this, if you've been playing this, I would sell as we get close to this 975, even now, especially if you're in options. Definitely has a path to 1,000 if it breaks 975, but we're very close to there now. Here we go, 974.80. I take your profits here if you're in Netflix, right here, 974.80. With the resistance in 975. All right, so Rocket Lab hit that secondary target, pretty close. Missed it by a few pennies. Netflix now hits 975. Definitely now has a path to 1,000, but I'm not. I would step aside personally if I was in it. See the R side.
Hey, thanks for asking, Mike. No, not really. She had to go back. They had to go back overseas, so they're over there now.
Look, Kodak.
Ben, you ever watch Unknown? I watched that last night. It was pretty good. It's an older movie.
No. I don't think so. All right, my Salem editions working over here.
Quick scalp worked out nice.
There you go. Now I have an average of 98 cents. Got a 1.5% allocation in my account. Up 14% on that. Wow. The two larger caps that we covered on the morning show that I personally missed out on, Rocket Lab and Netflix. Let's focus on smaller caps today. Salem Media, Weeble Words, continuation of Burn, and some ASPI. So I was focused on the small caps. The Salem Media is working, obviously. But I guess I shouldn't have ignored those big caps today. Rocket Lab and Netflix. Look at Salem Media is real pumping now. All right, doing well here on Salem Media. Man, I guess I should have picked a bigger size. The bid's picking up. 2,400 shares at 116. I'm up 20% on that now. Did you get into this, Rhett? They got a 10,000 share bid at 117.
No, I didn't get in. I don't know if I want to chase it. If I do, I'll probably throw $500 into it.
I mean, what did I say this morning? I said Salem Media could be up. What did I say? A few 100% or 200%? Said something. You got to find that. But
yeah,
I'm sticking with that. Let me just go look at the chart here one more time. The weekly here, 142. and that coincides with 144 candle resistance. So I would say that's a shoe-in here at this point, 121 by 122. So you'll sell half near this resistance level. But sell half near this level. But yeah, this is the sort of thing that who gave us Salem this morning?
That was Mike.
Mike Ellis? Nice.
Yeah.
Mike, so what are your thoughts? Did he get in? What's your average price and what's your target? Would love to hear that from you. And Netflix really broke that 975 point. Wow. I hate it when I have something at the top of my watch list and I'm just watching it all day and I don't get in, but 1,000 clearly in play on Netflix. That.
Oh no.
Look at that. Look at that 980. Woo.
And that's one I don't mind paying the premium on for trading those contracts either.
What, on Netflix?
Netflix. Yeah.
RDW had a little bit of news this morning. They won a small contract. Looked small, 10%. I have this in my retirement account. 1028 next resistance on Redwire. Break that, make it move towards 11. This one has been really beat up. And this is also maybe going up in sympathy with Rocket Lab, same sector. Man, look at that. I was just, it's okay. I'm up on sale immediately. What am I going to do? I'm up 20% on sale. More than that. But man, Netflix. Look at that, right? Can you imagine those call options this morning?
You're probably looking at
if I played it, I would have played 960 this week. That's what I would have played. Let's see what they're at. April 17th? No. Wait. Oh, there's only 2 days left, by the way. Wednesday, Thursday. Markets closed.
Yeah, I was going to
Friday.
say the bond market closes at 2 p.m. on Thursday too.
Okay, so 960 is what I would have chosen. Well, maybe not. Look how expensive. It would have been tough. I gotta tell you, I don't know that I would have pulled the trigger at $26. But in any case, they're up like 80, 90% since the open on Netflix. Wow. SenesTech interview is at 11 a.m., guys. 11 a.m. SenesTech. Look at this Netflix, 985. All right, fine. I got Salem Media. Someone paid up 32,000 shares, 10,000 shares, 45,000 shares. What is this candle? 51,000 share candle, 132 by 136. I have an order to sell half of my shares at 140 near that technical resistance. I am sure I'm going to regret it. I got to be honest with you. I am going to regret selling half my shares at 140, but just trying to stay disciplined here. I think this thing is probably going to go much higher today. Oh, look at that. I wish I got a bigger position. So, all right. Misplaying on Netflix, but making some dough on Salem Media. I missed the Rocket Labs too. Oh man, I hate it when we have these tickers up on the list right at the top and then I don't play them. Okay, whatever. I got the Salem Media. And look at our Berna, 2090 on Berna. Beautiful. Got a huge position in Berna. I have some $20 call options expiring this week. See how they're doing.
Should be up nicely.
I mean, up nicely since Friday, but I was down on them. Got them early. I got them like 2 months ago. Yeah, my break even is 21.56 by Friday. Is my break even 21.56? But they're getting a nice pop over here.
Man, Ben, the rats came back.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're not kidding. Like when when these things just like the rats and mice,
Yeah.
it's like they freaking come in like hundreds.
Wait, so what happened with the bait that you placed? Then you had the fire that interrupted it. So what's the status of that?
So I think all the rats and like mice, they moved like more inwards, like right near it, because right near there, it didn't really get affected too bad. But like they came back in high, so they're eating it. But I mean, it's not gonna come into effect. I mean, for another couple of weeks, I would say. So I mean,
What about, have you looked into the strategy or talked to the company about using both solutions at the same time, right? The thing that kills them.
Well, I go out and
plus the
shoot them. So
fertility?
I went out the one night and I shot over 30 rats and mice. Yeah.
How can you? Oh gosh, that's crazy. That's incredible.
Well, I just use my shotgun. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but it's unbelievable how many.
Where in the fields or like running out in the open field?
Yeah, it's the chicken coops. So where all the chickens are and all the feed and all that, they love all that stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, it's nuts.
All right.
I've never seen so many in my life. I started spraying water underneath there to like get them all out. So we'd spray water, they'd come out from the holes and all that, and then all of a sudden there was just hundreds of them. Just
look at this 975 breakout. I couldn't even believe my own words. When I said you break 975, then 1,000's your next target. I didn't act on it, but look at that. Holy.
I hope someone did. Look at that.
Yeah, I hope someone listens to
It's another 30 to 50% on call options right there.
Yeah, maybe Yosef listened to me. I don't know. I don't know if it's working today, but wow, that's crazy. That's craziness. All right. Anyway, got the Webull warrants working. Got the Salem media working. Webull getting a nice pop over here. ASPI not working. So I'll have to check in with what the folks are saying in the Discord on ASPI. Not my expertise of stuff. Don't know a lot about it. Borrowing a little bit of conviction on that from others. Look at this. Look at that Netflix. 975 right to 1,000. Damn. All right, we got 45 minutes till the SenesTech interview. 45 minutes. Just a quick look at the technicals. Let me see. I don't think I have a trade position anymore, but I think I added this to my long-term account. Let's see. SenesTech. Yeah. All right. So I added SenesTech to my long-term account, but it's not a trade position. So in any case, 20 DMA at 182, which matches this candle resistance there at 184. So we'll talk to the CEO in just a few minutes on SenesTech and hear what he has to say. Look at this. I'm kicking myself over Netflix, man. That's
Hey,
all right.
did Justin ever buy any of the Burner guns or no?
I mean, he only just started talking about it like Thursday, Friday, that he was going to look into it on Amazon. I heard about Burner a couple years ago for the first time, and I held it. My friend has it. I actually held it, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Where would he practice shooting that though?
Your backyard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what if I hit the neighbor's house?
I mean, I don't. How fast are they going? Let me look.
If you get hit by it, it feels like someone punching you. But then you got the pepper spray one, which is
so why wouldn't you just take paintballs and then you freeze the paintballs like people used to do? Yeah. I mean, that's the same thing.
I don't know.
It's the same concept.
I'm kind of afraid of guns, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get it. Just to support this stuff. Anyway, look at Webull doing great at high of day, and warrants are doing okay. What my average price on the warrants now? Let's see. BULLW. Oh, it's not even showing me my average fidelity.
8 grams, effective range 60. So the
effective
range is
really close. Hold on. This is me at the ask. All right. Oh, I just sold half of my shares, and as I said, I'm going to regret it. So then I get to watch Salem Media go to, let's see where it's going to go. I sold half of my shares at 140 here, right at that 200-week moving average, which coincides with this candle resistance here at 144. Not a bad spot to sell, but with this news, would not be surprised to see this thing at $2-3. But you never know. You got to take some profits. So I just wish I had a larger position. It's not a huge position. Let me see what I got now. Was it SALM? Is it a 2% position at this point, and I sold half, so I'm down to a 1% position on Salem Media. Nice big profit though. Wow, on just a 1.5% position, up $3,000 in the trade
Nice.
account. $2,800 to be precise on the trade account on Salem Media. So great alert by Mike Ellis there. It was Mike Ellis, right?
Yep.
Yeah, in our Discord. Superb. Just the collaboration we get in our Discord. If I miss something, someone else notices it. So that was awesome. Thank you, Mike. Although ASPI is not working. Let's see how much I'm down on ASPI. Oh, actually, I'm kind of down big on ASPI. Not as much. I'm still up between Salem and ASPI combined, but wow. I didn't realize I bought 2,000 shares of ASPI at 674, so that hurts. Let's see if there's a bid on this ISRLW. The last trade's over at 10 cents. Oh wow, really moving up on ISRLW here. Whoa, this thing was 5 cents yesterday.
That's from Supped Up.
Supped Up is pushing my stock?
ISRLW?
Yeah?
Yeah, he just tweeted it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, someone just posted it in our thing.
Supped Up pushing my stock. Did I ever tell him that? Why does he know about ISRLW? I don't think I ever told him about it either. Hold on, let's see what he said about it. Supped Up pushing my stock. I'm not going to complain about that. ISRLW. Hold on a second. ISRLW. Okay, here we go. Oh, 5 days ago he talked about it. April 9th was that his first time? Dear DD, and if you like it, buy this beaten down cheap warrants for opportunity. He didn't say the thesis. Okay, so I've been holding this for a long time. ISRLW. Helping out my account today. Nice. This is a SPAC that's supposed to merge with a drone company in Israel. And there's some rumors out there that they may want to retire these warrants together with the closing of the deal at 50 cents. So if that happens, although I don't know how tariffs are going to impact that uncertainty in terms of deal closures, there's definitely a risk there. But wow, ISRLW, beautiful.
EU expects UF tariffs to remain as talks more little progress.
So yeah, I'm getting clobbered on ASPI. I just did not realize I went in a little bit heavy this morning. Any comments on that?
Nothing yet. Oh, whoa. Market just is tanking.
Oh, news?
Yeah, I guess on that EU. Man.
What was the EU news? What was the EU news? What was that?
EU expects U.S. tariffs to remain as talks make little progress.
A little progress on talks. Yeah, that would do it.
And here we go.
That's
why I only am scalping right now.
And that's why you have to take some profits. Like I did a Salem Media at $140. So that's my only exit so far with Salem Media at $140. What? I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna lock in more burner gains from yesterday. So do that, and maybe these $20 call options I should get rid of at this point.
Let's see how much those puts would be up. Oh my! Jeez.
Yeah, I'm gonna also get rid of the $20 call options on Verna. Lock that in. They expire in just a couple days. Oh, Okay, cool. Sold out at
Wow.
84
Here
cents.
we go.
All right, so
Always fun. Always fun.
let's see. Wow, everything went red.
Yep.
Okay, good. So we are doing okay here with. Okay, Webull dropped from 59 to 49. Salem took this profit.
Netflix still holding up.
Yeah, ASPI is my problem today. Problem child here. Can you ask Godfather what he thinks of ASPI here at 568, down 13%, 13% on this news? Wow, that's a blessing.
What is it at?
ASPI is down 13% on the news. See what he says on that.
Yeah. Dang. Market's bouncing back on this.
Looks like I managed to. Oh, it's just a very small partial. I shaved a little of a ISRLW off here. At 12 cents, up 33%. Thank you, Stuffed Up. But yeah, it was not a big shave. All right, so Salem Media.
Did that. That was great.
What's that?
Someone's mentioning HE in the chat.
HE?
Yeah, Hawaiian Electric or.
Oh yeah, I know that very well.
We returned like 3,000 or 4,000% returns on that back.
Yeah.
In June or July last year.
Yeah, we made a ton on that. Hold on, let me check my text messages from my HE person. Zoe's texting me on HE. What is there news on HE? Why is HE being mentioned in the chat?
You just said a little utility HE that was mentioned last week seems to be doing well, and that's it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's holding up in this.
10:23 a.m. I'm gonna move SenesTech. Salem Media. I'm trying to. If I can buy back what I sold at 140, I will. It's just I prefer a bigger pullback though. 10 cents. I don't know if that's worth it for me in a pig sheet.
Probably gonna go grab a drink right here real quick, and then let the market settle down here, and see if I can get another quick scalp in somewhere. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a water real quick.
Taking some additional profits on Berna, $17.50 call options. I did not have a chance to sell anything yesterday. Up 185% on these call options. In at 123, out at 360. Still have, I sold 40% of them just now. TSSI. I'm in TSSI in the wheel. You know, I haven't not made any changes to the wheel. I got TSSI put to me. Did I get laser put to me or put to me soon? And then ASTS should, I think, expire worthless. But yeah, when I got the TSSI put to me, I failed to sell the covered call immediately, which I should have done. Now I'm kind of stuck with these. So TSSI, sorry, someone in the chat's asking about that. TSSI, you got this 2 moving averages right there at the same spot at $8. I guess, you know, and you got the candle resistance at 8. So $8 is definitely a resistance on TSSI to the upside. You know, obviously the 563 is your support, but hopefully it doesn't get to that. It's had a series of higher lows here, like pretty consistently, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row. Let's just check the RSI on the 30-minute, 1 hour. Not getting a strong indicator. It's kind of in between. RSI is not giving me a very strong indicator. The daily just so oversold. So $8 is your resistance level on the daily on TSSI. When is the next earnings report? May 12th to May 16th. About a month away, a little less than a month. So yeah, I'm stuck in these right now in my trade account, in the wheel trade account. So, you know, I think I'm just going to wait for better opportunity to sell covered calls as part of that wheel process. All right, so let's head back on over to focus these for the day. All right, so Salem Media getting a drop. That's good. If you followed with me and sold some at $1.40. Do I want to buy back at $1.26? Right there at $1.23. Warning. That could be your support now. $1.23.
Yeah, speaking of that, with what Ollie said, I don't know if any of them on here, but I'll start talking about it a little. Yeah, the FSD. My girlfriend's daddy has a Cybertruck. He has the full FSD for the package, the Foundation series, and it's incredible. Like, it even stops at the gates. It waits for the gate to open, turns on the blinkers and all that. So it's wild.
Okay, I got back into Salem at $1.27. Man, I was very hard with the pink sheet stuff. Sorry, were we talking about Tesla FSD?
Yeah, Tesla FSD. I was just talking about how crazy and incredible it is. It's insane.
Okay, I just got back, actually in decent size, at $1.27 on Salem. Okay, so let's see. Let me just check. What is my allocation size now? Let's see. 2.15%. I'm like, I got a big allocation now. 2.15% is my big allocation. It's a penny stock. It's a pink sheet. So, you know, risk management. But I'm happy with that. When I get a 2.5%, maybe if it drops further, maybe I'll even get a 3%. If we get towards 1, we'll see. But I got a good feeling about Salem in the afternoon here. Let's look at the chart again. So I got rejected at that 200-day moving average, week moving average, which is where my initial sell was. But I gotta say, if you look, I don't know what caused this move. We should find out on October 22nd, 2021. It'd be nice to know what caused that pop. I can't believe Salem Media has been public all this time. But with this catalyst today, I mean, that's a massive resistance. You'd have to break that 200-week moving average, and I think you can though with that catalyst. And then you break that, I think you can head towards $2, $2.20, something like that. 220 would be my target today, actually, on sale and media, which sounds insane, but you know, that's just how this market works on these microcaps on this type of Donald Trump Jr. news. Like, so I'm back in 2.15% allocation at $1.27. All right.
Less than 30 minutes till the interview.
Less than 30 minutes till a SenesTech interview. Topics will be tariffs and New York City update, along with maybe Baltimore and Chicago. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just getting ASPI not working. Did anyone respond on their thoughts on ASPI news this morning? Why it might be going down on this news? Just buy the rumor, sell the news. It could have been a leak.
Short-term price action, he said to just follow.
What's that?
He said for the short, here, hold on. He said fundamentally yes, but listen to the price action for short-term entries.
It could have just been known. It could have been a leak. Buy the rumor, sell the news, like we saw with Apple on Friday into Monday. That's what it could have been. I hate it. I hate it when that happens. People think that it happens all the time. It doesn't happen all the time. But people think you can see everything on the chart. No, not all the time. Sometimes the catalyst is a complete surprise. But yeah, it looks like maybe there is some leak on this, unfortunately. So got caught up on the wrong side of that, chasing that. In any case, let's see if we can make up for it with this latest entry on sale immediate at $1.27. Netflix coming right back. I guess that means indices might be too. Let's see. Sorry about the cough today here, guys. Gold continues to look beautiful. Man, I really rotated out of bonds into gold in a big way. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna follow the crowd on this one. I've been worried about the U.S. debt crisis like my whole life. I've always been a very big gold bug. This could be its moment. Feels safe to have that insurance, I guess you call it. Netflix 975 breakout I called earlier. Went to 976.49, bounced right off of that, back off to the races. $10 move. Wow. All right, let me check into our Discord. Anyone? Okay. You just remind people we're live in the Discord. That's why I'm quiet. Let them know, like, Ben's not active here because it's live trading, and we're about to have the SenesTech interview at 11 a.m. I usually chat in the chat, like, all day long. A little bit of an extended live. $34. Get my. All right. Just getting my notes ready for the SenesTech interview. Come on, Weeble. Crash. Go down. Go down more. Oh man, I'm getting killed on ASPI. I should. At this point, where the heck is the support on this? 530 to 550 in that range. Can't sell it now, it's too late. 30 minutes oversold, 5 minutes oversold, 1 minute oversold. Doesn't make sense to sell it here. Okay. If I have to swing it, maybe I'll swing it. This is a top pick by the Godfather. Top pick by the Godfather news, so about Weeble, low 40s, remember that level we talked about? Strong support in the chart.
Hey, can you add this to your questions? You ready, Ben?
Yeah.
Someone's asking to ask this question. Can you please ask Joel if and when they are going to plan on publishing the long-term study on the sugar or poultry pilot? Thank you.
Sugar or poultry pilot?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to ask that if there's time. I don't even know what this is about. Long-term study, published data. Sugar or poultry pilot. Okay.
Someone's asking if there's CoreWeave news.
I just saw it went down. Hold on, I'm just writing a message about ISRLW here. Sorry, what do you say? CoreWeave news? CRWV. I mean, the first thing I'd look at is the sector. Let me just check NBIS. Let's check NVIDIA. Okay, so there might be something with CoreWeave. Although if you pull out the 30-minute chart, it's not that meaningful, that move. Certainly looks scary on a 1 minute, 5 minute chart. So you can check the newsfeed, check social media, nothing in the newsfeed, but you pull out, could just be noise. Okay. Hold on, check this rare earths today. I think I gotta throw the SPY at the top of the list here. So look at that. That 20 moving average, 20-day moving average, pushing the indices down here today. Consistently being pushed down by it actually since March 27th. Almost a month. Oh, okay, here we go. I will add more, sell them at the right price. I'm at 2% now, so I'm not chomping at the bit yet. But 113 by 117, that was a beautiful sell at 140, huh? 115 by 116, 113 by 115, 113 by 114. Keep selling it, guys. Bring it down for us. 112 by 113 keeps coming down. Can we get it near 1? That would be beautiful. Let's see.
Man, talk about a chop fest right now in markets.
Webull down 28% to $45. Previous level there was 44. Said there was support at 41 or so. Go back to the 30-minute chart. Okay, right here. Yeah, 41. 41 is a nice support level. Salem, trying to add a little bit more here. Did it go through? Went through. $1.14, add a little bit more. I'm saving firepower for 1. I think 1 is, or 101, 102, something like that. I'm going to put this in the Discord too in case people aren't watching. Shrug doing good. I'm in Shrug too. Hold on. Shrug. We're waiting for news on Shrug. It is strong. We're waiting for their earnings report. Okay, so let me just put in a message here. And adding Salem on dips after. Added 5 calls. Okay, so we got a trade alert here on ASPI in our Discord from the Godfather. I'm not going to tell you which contract, but a specific contract pulled out. So he likes it down here.
Well, you see this latest news, man. Apple imported $2 billion worth of iPhones from India to the U.S. to avoid Trump tariffs.
Is that why SPY just exploded? I mean, that doesn't make sense. Why would that? I guess that causes Apple to go up, maybe. Yeah, and then Apple took up the indices, maybe. I think that's what's happened there.
Yeah, it's looking like that.
Always a reason. It's a good time at 10:45 to talk a little bit about what we do here at Story Trading. In the wake of all the Trump tariff hoopla, do you feel the market stabilizer is still there? like, okay, so I covered this early, Progressive, and I'll say this again. Let me just say this, and then we'll go into a little bit about our story trading process. 200-week moving average. That's your long-term bull market line, and I think we can test that 200-week moving average because of continued uncertainty, right? Not fully stabilized yet. Okay, continued uncertainty, continued possible impact on earnings. Yet at the same time, I think we have a Trump put in the market based on everything that's transpired in the past week. So we have the Trump put, but it's a very messy Trump put that can still cause market downward pressure until a certain point, and then your bull market resumes. That's my current prediction, obviously subject to change. But I've been pretty consistent about this for like the last 6 weeks, since the drawdown started and we predicted the move down. I've been very consistent that this is your long-term bull line, not 20% as a bear market, 10% as a correction. 200-week moving average.
Whoa! More news. Whoa!
What?
Holy! That was a huge candle right there.
What's the news?
I don't know. I just got filled on my contracts though.
All right, so let me just continue on that. So anyway, Progressive, to answer your question, no, I don't think we've fully settled. We have a rocky earnings season to go through. I think there is the potential of a move all the way back here to 460, which is a long, long way down. Yet at the same time, I still think we can do what we're doing, picking stocks like we're doing, buying the dips for this 200-week moving average support line. So that's my take on that. The danger is not over. That's why I'm in a very high cash position in my trade account right now. All right, that's that. Now let me just talk a little bit about. Oh, someone's buying SenesTech. Probably smart to do, but because I'm doing the show and because they're paid sponsor, I'm not going to be trading SenesTech today. I'm holding a longer term position in my long-term account, but this is a probably a smart move by whoever's doing this, because the CEO of SenesTech has done pretty good on his interviews with us, and every time has inspired people to buy the stock and drop like nuggets that were previously unknown. So looks like someone is trying to take advantage of that ahead of our interview. But in any case, let's just quickly talk a little bit about story trading and what we do here. As you see here, trying to make sense out of markets is what we do. All right. I believe markets.
Trump just tweeted something.
All right, let's go. Our farmers are great, but because of their greatness, they're always put on the front line with our adversaries, such as China. Whenever there's a trade negotiation, or in this case, a trade war, the same thing happened in my first term. China was brutal to our farmers. These patriots just hold on, and a great trade deal was made. I awarded our farmers with a payment of $28 billion all through the China deal. It was a great transaction with the USA until Joe Biden came in and didn't enforce it. China largely reneged on the deal, only buying a portion of what they agreed to buy. They had zero respect for the Biden administration, who are interested. They just saying that they will present it. Okay, the USA will protect our farmers. Okay, too much noise. I'm not concerned about that noise. Look, this chop will continue. This chop is going to continue, and the uncertainty will continue all the way, possibly all the way down to 460. Okay, but I will no longer play this chop. All right, we had a great run predicting what the SPY would do, and now we're just into high cash positions and individual stocks. That's the game we're playing here at story trading. Now, you can tell, though, I believe that markets have a story to tell. That markets are, I call it, efficient. All right. Now, fundamental investors, especially microcap investors, will disagree with me. They'll say, "Man, markets are not efficient. They're crazy. My little microcap, which should be $5, is only $2. It's not efficient." No, you're crazy, Ben. No, markets are efficient because it reflects the net aggregate opinion of all people, and to me, that's efficiency. All right, reflecting the net aggregate opinion of all participants is the definition of efficiency. The definition of efficiency is not what you think the stock should be worth based on your calculation of fair value. After all, your calculation of fair value could be wrong. So, but in any case, as long as people have internet access and they're able to trade, and no margin calls. Margin calls are inefficient. You get that sometimes. Short squeezes, you're forced to do something you don't want to do. That's inefficient. You get that sometimes. Extended hours, some people don't have access. That's inefficient. or not enough volume when you're talking about institutions. But other than those situations, when you look at a stock chart, for the most part, all of these moves are explainable. And all of these moves are logical, okay? Because it is a fact that human beings make decisions based on emotions and sentiment. And it's logical to assume that prices will be impacted by sentiment. So therefore, when you look at a stock price chart holistically, when you consider catalyst, sentiment, fundamentals, and technicals are 4 pillars, you can then make sense out of markets, and you can come to understand that markets actually do make sense. It makes sense to incorporate people's fears. It makes sense to incorporate people's excitement. All right. When people are very optimistic about the future, it makes sense that there should be a sentiment premium. When people are pessimistic about the future, it makes sense that there should be a sentiment discount. So markets are logical. They make sense. When you look at the chart, there's a story, there's a reason behind all of the big gyrations. Now, the daily, intraday chop, no, not necessarily is a story behind all of that. That's just, people doing their transactions for the day and trying to get their trades done that they've decided based on the catalyst or sentiment, fundamentals, and technicals. Obviously, sometimes there's a little bit of news, but in the big picture, when you pull out and look at a chart in context, look at the big moves up and the big moves down, there's a story behind that. And today's level is the correct level. No matter how undervalued your stock is, or no matter how undervalued your stock is, that is the market efficient correct price. Okay, because that undervaluation represents a sentiment discount because of worries that human beings have about the future, and that's warranted to have worries about the future. Those premiums are warranted when people are excited about the future, and that's the premise behind where story trading operates, is that markets are efficient, there's a story behind the trade, and there's a reason why a stock is trading where it's trading at all times, okay? Now, doesn't mean that the people on the other side of the trade are correct about their worries, right? When a stock is trading at a very low price compared to what you calculate fundamental fair value to be, it could be that you are right about the future and the person who's worrying about the future is ultimately going to be proved wrong, and that's where the opportunity is. If you can predict what the future holds better than the other person, that's your opportunity. It's not in market inefficiency. All right, so that's the premise behind everything we do here. And what's the ramification of that? What's the beauty of that? The beauty of this is that you can identify and participate in what I call rapid re-ratings based on catalyst. Because if yesterday's price is the correct price based on the market efficient thesis, then when you have a delta of information, you're going to have a delta in price. And that's what we do at story trading. We start with the catalyst. We interpret the impact of that catalyst on sentiment. What's the sentiment trader going to do? We interpret the impact of the catalyst on fundamental. What's the fundamental? How's that fundamental investor going to rate the company now, value it? We interpret the impact of the catalyst on sentiment and fundamentals, and then only then do we look at technicals to see where are our resistance and support levels, and we come up with a thesis for the day. Most of our trade ideas work same day or within 2 or 3 days because of our market efficient hypothesis. So that's what we do at story trading. It's called our 4-pillar process: catalyst, fundamental, sentiment, and technicals. We have a collaborative process in our community where we collaborate with all sorts of experts, because it's going to be very hard to find one person good at all those disciplines. So we have the Godfather Knows in our community, who's a fundamental expert. We have myself, who tries to put it all together with the catalyst and the sentiment and fundamentals and technicals. We have technical traders like Rhett and Vince in our community. And together we collaborate to come up with the best thesis and the best chance of predicting near-term rapid re-ratings in stocks based on catalysts. And that process has led to massive outperformance for myself over the years. It's led to outperformance in our Discord since we started tracking here in May, up about 3,000% since October, up 110% this year alone, year to date. I'm hard-pressed to find any other Discord where the principal has that kind of track record based on the ideas shared in the Discord. And that's all because I respect all market participants, right? I respect them all, whatever their opinion is. If they're wrong about, fundamentals, that's great. I respect that. All right, whatever it is, it helps me understand why a stock is priced today where it's at. And that helps me jump in at the right time when there's a catalyst. The most powerful catalysts are the ones that turn a bear thesis on its head, right? So you can be a fundamental investor and think, hey, this stock should be $10 right now, but it's only $7. Right? It doesn't mean the market's inefficient. It means you're not appreciating the bear thesis by a certain portion of the audience who are refusing to buy it above 7, who are shorting it down to 7. If you respect those guys and you find out why are they pricing it at 7, what do they find so worrisome about this company, you understand that, you do the research to figure that out. Then when a catalyst comes which addresses that concern, you're going to see a rapid re-rating right to where you thought it goes to 10. Well, you have to look at the technicals also to kind of triangulate your target. But that's what we do with story trading. It's a very unique process that you're not going to find anywhere else. And that's why people in our community are just killing it here this year and since we opened our Discord last May. So as we got 4 minutes left here, Rhett, if you want to ping our CEO and make sure they have the link.
Oh, yep.
All right. Okay. So
he's in now. Awesome.
We'll be ready at 11 o'clock. So just in 4 minutes, we'll move over to that CEO interview on SenesTech. But in any case, if you want to join our Discord, in the meantime, you do that over at storytrading.com/Discord. That's storytrading.com/Discord. Nowhere else will you get the kind of guidance you get. And by the way, in our Discord, you get to directly interact with our analysts, whether it be myself or Rhett or the Godfather Knows. You also don't get that in any other Discord. And we've got a 30% off promotion code here, pre-market 30. That's pre-market 30 for 30% off over at storytrading.com/Discord. While we get ready for the next segment here, the SenesTech CEO interview, I do see in our backstage studio, CFO Tom Chesterman has joined us. Tom, give me a thumbs up if you intend to show up on the show, or if it's just going to be Joel. Let me know. No thumbs up, probably just going to be Joel. All right, so is there a watch? Very good. So we'll be starting that in 3 minutes. Now, let me just play a little explainer video about what story trading is as we work our way over to our 11 o'clock interview.
It's not easy to understand why stocks go up and down, but even in volatile markets, there's always a discoverable and logical reason behind price action. Story trading is a social investing community of investors who share information to uncover the hidden stories behind the trade through the 4 pillars of fundamentals, catalyst, sentiment, and technicals. All price action can be understood through the lens of these pillars, allowing for a holistic view that empowers better decision-making. Only by understanding markets can you beat them. Join our community today and start making sense of markets.
Okay, there we go. And a little bit of a preview here in the 2 minutes we have left before we bring on the CEO of SenesTech. Let's just look at the chart here. And the reason I invited the company to come on to speak today is because, like many other stocks, they got destroyed here since the tariff talk started. And you can see here we had a nice stable support at around $2.10. The stock moved down to $1.30 just based on the tariff worries and the impact that major indices were having on the stock. So I wanted to bring the company on to talk about tariffs. That's the main topic. One of the main topics is going to be tariffs. Is it having an impact on the company? Will it have an impact on the company? And anything else about tariffs, we get that out of the way, because I'm sure everyone is thinking about that with every single stock and every single investment they have. Tariffs is a big story. You know, as we talked about with Berna was a big position for us, which worked out brilliantly. They just reported earnings. And this was the reason I was in a big, now I rarely hold stocks into an earnings report. We held it for Berna because we had the visibility on tariffs, and the company actually pre-released some information about tariffs, how it was not impacting their business, and how they moved their whole supply chain to the United States. And then they had a great earnings report, a great conference call where they reiterated the impact on tariffs. I think they said like only a 12% increase in cost, and pretty much at this point, they're all made in the USA, completely made in the USA. So that's one of the reasons of this overperformance and the stock bouncing back and, you know, bringing back a lot of its losses from the tariff worries. So that was one example of a stock when, you know, when a company was able to go out there and tell us that the tariff's not impacting them, they're able to bounce back. That was my largest position, guys, into the earnings report and Friday over the weekend. And that's enabled my account to be at the highs. That's why I'm interested, and I'm sure the audience is interested in SenesTech. So we're going to hit the little music here, and we'll start on the other end with Joel Fruendt, CEO of SenesTech. Good morning, Joel Fruendt. It is tax day, Tuesday, April 15th. How you been holding up?
Very good, Ben. Thank you for having me on again.
Awesome. Great to have you here. And as you saw in that comments I was just giving, by the way, big crowd today, got 935 people watching this live right now. So the stock has been hammered, not only your stock, every single stock in the market has been hammered because of the macro situation. Why don't we just start there? Just go for it. Tell us everything about the macro and tariffs and how that may or may not be impacting you.
Well, certainly the tariff concerns have created a little anxiety across all the markets. But as far as SenesTech goes, with our flagship product Evolve, all of our ingredients of Evolve are produced in the US and available in the US. Our ContraPest product has one ingredient that is imported from China, but we have plenty of that in stock for the next year. But I think it's worth noting that our flagship product Evolve, we've got plenty of raw materials. We've got plenty of suppliers in the United States, not only one but multiple suppliers of each of the it's food additive ingredients, and they're readily available. Things like oat flour and sucrose. So the tariff portion of that from a ingredient standpoint is not really a concern for us.
And that ContraPest ingredient, you said you have a year's supply. What happens after that year if tariffs are still in place? Do you have an alternative source that you can get for that?
We do. That's a naturally derived ingredient. There's also a synthetic alternative that we've been looking at. And in the meantime, certainly there is availability there of the product. So if we get to a point where we have to purchase more, we will, but we don't foresee that for the immediate future anyway. Okay.
What about the demand side, macroeconomically, whether it's because of tariffs or recession concerns? Does that impact any of your business, whether it be with retail customers through the big box retailers or online, Amazon at all, or with the institutions or cities you're working with? Any possible delays because of the macro situation?
No, not really anything domestically. I think the only possible concern would be with some of our international distributors, right? If there's tariffs that they impose on goods imported from the U.S. And so we're monitoring that.
What is the percent of your business that's international sales right now?
Right now, it's less than 5%.
Okay, so that's not a big impact.
No, we see
less than 5%.
Yeah, we see that as a big growth area for us going forward. So we're monitoring that, and with the exclusive distributors that we have in place, we don't see anything right now that would be a cause for alarm.
Okay, great. And just to recap your earnings call that you had, I don't know, 6 weeks ago or so by now, there was a little bit of guidance given that you guys think you can flip to profitability if you tell me if I'm right about this. I forgot the exact number, but I think if you increase your revenue by about $1 million per quarter, that should be enough to get you to cash flow break even. Is that correct?
Yeah, the cash flow break even for us, we've gone through the process of putting our expenses, looking at our expenses and how can we reduce the cash burn from $1.5 million to $1 million a quarter. By doing that, so we're able to put a program in place to do that. And by doing that, we look at break even from a revenue standpoint at $6.5 to $7 million, which we feel for the growth in the course of the business is doable in 2026.
Okay, right. Yeah, we talked about that. But that would represent an increase of about $1 million per quarter, right?
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. So 2026, but the reason a lot of people are so excited about your business, and there is optionality upside there in terms of getting to that level before 2026 if some big things come through for you. One of those big things is selling this product to municipalities. The big one, obviously, that a lot of people are interested in is New York City, but you also have some potential work, or you started some work maybe with Chicago and Baltimore. So tell us a little bit more about the status of these deals, and specifically, if they do work for you, what kind of revenue does that mean for your company?
There's a lot of interest across all of the municipal segment. I think the one that's really exemplifies what our efforts in 2024 are paying off is what's happening in the city of Chicago. So the city of Chicago has their own streets and sanitation, right? So that's with the city. But in addition, they have 55 what they call special service areas. So these are all the neighborhoods in the city of Chicago. And they all have their own budgets for things like beautification of the areas and outreach to the citizens about things that are going on. And one of the things is that some of them have latched onto is they don't like poisons, they don't want them in their neighborhoods, and they've latched on to Evolve as a humane alternative to poisons. And mainly because that it's all food additive ingredients. It's a minimum risk product as seen by the EPA. And so we have in two of the neighborhoods there, Wicker Park and Bucktown, they have ordered the product and they are deploying it. And if you go to our website, we have a real good map of where they deployed the product. And they're monitoring it. So we just started that 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Since then, they've placed another order where they're going to have the product available to their residents. And so the residents can come down to their storefront and pick up the product and use it themselves. And so we're starting to see then the other special service areas, the other 54, 53.
Wait, sorry. Can I interrupt you 1 second? You're talking about a storefront. This is the specific municipality in Chicago. So when you say a storefront, you're talking about some government office or something?
Yeah, so most of them, not all of them, but most of them have a storefront. It's like the Chamber of Commerce. So a lot of times the Chamber of Commerce is involved. And so there's the opportunity there. So Wicker Park, the one I'm referring to in Bucktown, they have ordered the product. They're going to have it available. They're going to have communication going with their residents. Residents can come down and pick up the product. They want to use it in their certain location.
Would it be free for the residents?
Well, I think they're going to charge them, but that's certainly an option going forward if they want to make sure that they get full saturation of the opportunity there. So there might be that going forward. So it's in the infant stages, but you can see how it's starting to gather momentum. And we've confirmed there's at least 10 other of those SSAs that are watching that project and how it starts going. And really what it gets down to is consumption of the product, right? We know that the product works. It's worked out in the lab. It's worked out in the field. You got to get consumption. We've never had that problem with Evolve of not having consumption. And so they're already seeing good consumption of the product. The other SSAs are looking at that and seeing.
I'm sorry, what's SSA stand for?
Well, it's a special service area. So it's the 55 different organizations that they're really community and neighborhood organizations.
I got it. Okay. And this website, I didn't realize you had this. I don't think you had a press release on this the launch 2 weeks ago. Maybe I missed it. But is this map on the website, is that something that will be, you expect, I mean, is that going to grow in the near term? Is that something that will be updated and we should check every few days, or is it we'll get a press release if you have an?
No, it's going to be real time. And we've created a portal for the Bucktown residents that they can go on and see where the deployment is. So it's important to be very transparent to the residents about what's happening. And so when you look on the map, you can see all of the different locations where the bait boxes, right? So this product is put in a bait box, so you protect it against non-target animals, because really it's not going to impact them in a negative way like poison would. You just want to make sure that your targets, which are rats and mice, are the ones that are eating it. And so put it in a bait station ensures that.
Can we look at this? This is fascinating. Where can I find this here on your website?
I'm not sure exactly where it's at on the website, but we have the portal area for the residents that it's available, and I was told it was going to be on the website here as well.
All right, we're gonna find out if Tom is watching the back. You can put in the private chat there. Just hit private chat. Let me know where it is. I would love to show that to the folks here. I'm very interested in it myself. So that is fascinating. All right, let's see if we can find that out. So you got this portal that's going to be updated in real time, and it sounds like you're saying Chicago is something where because I started asking about New York City. And you're like, Chicago is more of a 2025 story, and New York City is more of a 2026 story. Is that where you're going with this?
Well, no, I think they're all 2025 stories. What we're seeing is there's really a grassroots movement to come up with alternatives to what they've been using, and that's lethal methods that work to a certain extent, but they all address the death side. There you go. There it is, right there.
Wow, this is much more than I imagined it to be. That's fascinating.
Yeah,
it's really fascinating.
Our team has done a great job working with the leadership of that SSA has really come forward and said, we know that there's an alternative that can really help us here. A lot of the residents are concerned about their pets, and by having poisons out in the community and their pets, they're saying no more. We want something else that will ensure us that we won't have deaths for our pets and our birds by ingesting the poison that was meant for rats.
So yeah, I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. This is a big operation. This is fascinating. Wow, that's a lot of locations. So what is how long will it take, for this? I think 3 to 6 months. Is that when we get the results?
Yeah. So what happens is they start consuming it. And of course, so with rats, their gestation period's only 23 days, right? So meaning that they can have babies, litters in 23 days. They start at 2 months. And that's why when we tell people, it's like, well, 2 rats can become 15,000 in 1 year when they have 6 to 8 litters of 6 to 10 pups per litter during the course of a year. You can see how that starts multiplying. It's not like they're born and then they wait a year to start having pups. They're starting to have their own pups at 2 months. So that's why the death rate, right, the death side with lethal options, it just can't keep up. And while it does an okay job to a certain point, you really need to address the birth rate as well. And that's what we do. We address the birth rate, keep the populations down. When you keep the populations down, then you can use other means as well in conjunction with them to get complete control. And that's what an integrated pest management program is supposed to do. And that's what the people in Wicker Park have recognized, is that we can't just keep doing the same thing, because we have a huge issue with the amount of rats that are in the city, and they're citywide. It's not just in certain neighborhoods. As long as rats have a food source and some type of harborage, that's where they go.
So it could take a couple months or so for this to start working. Can this product be used together with traditional rat poison at the same time? So you have the short-term covered, and then you also have the long-term covered?
Yeah, that's the basis for an integrated pest management program. So you start off with things like sanitation, right? So make sure you try to keep things as clean as they can. You clean up after yourself so there's no garbage laying around. You have exclusions, so you try to keep them from going in certain buildings. And then you should have controlled the birth rate, which is our product. And then on the other side, it's like the ones that you have left. So if you have 10 instead of 100, those are a lot easier to control. And you can use lethals like poisons or traps or humane traps. And in combination, all of those components of an integrated pest management program will allow you to control the rats and not have the rats control you.
So is there going to be a similar map like this for New York City and Baltimore when you get to that stage?
Well, one of the issues that we face is that when there's programs that are going on, a lot of areas don't want a lot of press coverage on it. This case, they're saying, hey, listen, we want to be transparent about here's what we're doing because we're tired of just having to deal with the fallout from some of the lethals there, the poisons. So I can't say that all of them will be this transparent, but we're hoping so. I can tell you this is that we just shipped the product to New York City for the beginning of their deployment. Now they're going to try to keep it very low key in the press because they want to have the product there. They want to have it tested out, and then they'll release their findings as they go along. So they want to be in control of it.
Yeah, look, that's the one I'm most excited about because I live here in New York Metro and I've been in the subways and I've seen the rats. So
that's right. You remember how many city blocks? You remember how many city blocks there are in New York City, right?
Yeah, and I guess this initial test is 20 city blocks in New York City.
They're doing actually 3 10-block areas.
Oh wow!
And the way they're doing it, they're going to have some controls, right? And they're going to have our product, and they're going to have those interspersed in those 10-block areas. So. Our meetings with them have been great. They've asked a lot of great questions about how to deploy, what to look for, how to make sure that we get consumption. With this product, if you put some bait stations out and you don't get the consumption, you probably need to move the bait station, right? Because they have certain patterns and certain traffic areas that they tend to. Yeah, but once you start getting consumption, then 4 to 6 weeks later, you can start seeing the results. Our initial studies showed that you have a 61% reduction in the number of pups born in that first gestation period. And so it was basically going from 11 pups down to 4 to 5. And that's where you start making some progress.
Look, this is all very fascinating, especially compared, if someone just looks at your market cap and say, okay, $3 million and they might solve the rat problem in New York City, that immediately gets people interested. I'm interested, right? I actually own this in my long-term account right now. In my retirement account, believe it or not, I decided to take a position. And, but to be fully transparent here, right, for everyone, this is a small company, micro-cap company. And really it's a race between, can you get to profitability before you have to raise money in some unsavory fashion, right? Like that's the problem with microcaps and access to capital. So it's like, okay, this could be the stock can return 1,000% potentially if you're able to reach profitability before having to do any kind of toxic financing. And that's everyone knows that, right? That's the play in the microcap world is can this company reach profitability before they need to raise money? And I'm looking at this, and yes, you're guiding for 2026, which indicates that you may need to raise a little bit more money before 2026. But isn't there the possibility here? You're talking about Chicago's already deployed. New York City is going to be deployed soon. You're saying the results can come in, 4 to 6 weeks. So why couldn't we maybe have some huge order from Chicago or New York City or Baltimore or whatever, in the second half of the year, towards the end of the year? And maybe give you guys a pathway towards profitability without having to tap capital markets. Am I wrong for thinking that that's a possibility?
No, I think you're spot on, Ben. And if you look at it, and with our strategies in different channels, so that municipal, right, it's in the pest management distribution channel. Orders from cities, certainly if they start using it on a large scale. Large orders are certainly a possibility. The same can be said from our international business, right? We're getting close to full official approval. They've already said it was approved, but they got to go through the process in New Zealand and Australia. Our distributor there is going to order container loads of this once they get the official approval. So there's the option there for some large orders. And the same can be said for retail. We've got a number of different proposals out to some of the largest retailers that are out there, and the warehouse stores and big boxes, that if they decide to put this on the shelves, there's also that possibility in that channel. So
and by the way, you guys are getting great reviews from retail on Amazon. And even just in what's that?
You can see the momentum there, and it started out. We really didn't get on Amazon till last August, because when we first got on, there's a number of things with being a regulated product that some of the keywords that you put in. So we had some issues with that, but now you can see our Amazon sales each month are growing by roughly 25%.
Oh, that's amazing. And I can even tell just from empirical data within our community and what we see in social media, there's a lot of interest in this product. In fact, I'm starting to be impacted. I'm like, oh, everyone seems interested in this product. Maybe I should get it for my own house. You have evolved mouse too, right? And we have like mice living in our attic, and every once in a while we have to call the exterminator, and they disappear for like 5 or 6 weeks maybe, and they're right back, So I don't know, maybe
that's because if you don't get the last two, they're breeding and they're having litters like right away. So
so I'm thinking of getting that evolved mouse product. There was a question from our Discord earlier, which I see is also posted on YouTube right now. I think they're referring to the same study. Apparently, there was a long-term study about sugar or poultry pilot. Is this the same as a Cambridge, Massachusetts study? Is it? Do you know what they're talking about? Someone's asking if there's an update on that and when the data will be out on that study.
Yeah, so we're doing I don't know about Cambridge. There's a project going on in Cambridge. I don't have any updates on that. The one that we're doing in the sugarcane is really interesting. So the sugarcane producers, rats love sugarcane, right? It's like their favorite thing. That's why we did all the testing on this product out in the sugarcane fields. And when they started to consume it in the middle of sugarcane, we said, okay, we're on to something here. We have just completed the first phase of the project with one of the largest sugar producers. Consumption was 100%. The videos we're going to start posting some videos of the rats consuming it out in the sugarcane fields, the evolved product in the sugarcane fields. They're fascinating. Now, the next portion of that is like, okay, where can they use this product and really reduce their damage? Because they write off $10 to $15 million each year just in rodent damage. And when you're talking about 60,000 acres of sugarcane, there's some huge potential there. And that's one of the other areas, agriculture, that there's a potential for some really large orders. Sugarcane, grain management, poultry production. We've got the product right now that's being used in some of the largest poultry producers, poultry houses and egg production facilities. So we'll have more to report on the sugarcane probably in about 6 weeks as to far as what the next phase is bringing. And it's not just about consumption, then it's about deployment and how you can really reduce the amount of damage that's done.
Fascinating. Yes, so many shots on goals you have in terms of big orders, whether it's agriculture or the municipalities or the big box retailers or even the international. So very exciting. There's a question here from our ex-audience. It says, what's the history of the CEO? Organic chemist background sounds interesting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background?
Well, I'm not an organic chemist. I'm a business guy that started my career with waste management, so that environmental areas, and then spent 15 years in the mosquito and vector control area. So really pest control that relates to mosquitoes and mosquito-borne diseases with the largest company in the vector management side of that. And so here's the similarity. This is what I see. When I was in the mosquito control industry, it's like when I started out, it was all about killing the adults by sprays. And what they call larvicide is what you put in the water to keep the larvae from hatching off, was a very small percentage. By the time I left, it had flip-flopped, and the larvicide was up over 75% of the products that are sold there. I see the exact same thing in rodent control. Is everybody's been focusing on the adults, and there's so many that you can't control them all. This is a way of keeping them from hatching off in their own sense, keep them from being born, and you control the population that way. So the business is thriving, it's growing, and very excited to be here.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, we got some awesome updates today, especially that map. I love that real-time map. I'm gonna keep track of that. I can't wait to hear updates on New York City. You got some big potential here. I hope it works out. Like I said, I'm a long-term investor at this point. I think it's worth the risk reward. The way I look at it, it's like, hey, if you get that big order in this year before you have to raise money, it's a 10-bagger. And even if you have to raise some money in the second half of the year, all right, if you ultimately do get those orders a little bit late. So that's my view on it. Joel, thank you so much for joining us. Is there any final words or any catalysts we should be looking forward to here in the next few weeks?
Well, I think that, I forgot to mention is that we're doing a deployment in San Francisco as well over the next couple of weeks.
Oh, what? This is crazy. Why don't you press release all this stuff out?
We are. You'll be seeing some good press releases coming out, but we always like to make sure that things are going before we hit the press release send button.
All right. Awesome. That's exciting. All right, Joel, we'll keep up to date on everything you're doing. Thanks so much.
All right, Ben. Thanks for everything you do.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, there you have it. That was SenesTech. We'll just wrap this up a little bit here and call it a day soon. Rhett, what do you think of that interview?
I think it went really well. I think people don't really understand like how big of an impact it will have making them stop reproducing. Because I mean, just like in my instance, like all of a sudden you barely have any, and then all of a sudden just hundreds of them come in, and like you can't keep them under control. So I mean, if you're keeping the population under control with like pretty much birth control, with not allowing them to reproduce, I mean, that's huge. Because just like he said, it's going to be easier for us to take care of killing 10 comparing trying to kill 100 to 200. So I really think snipping that in the butt right there is going to be huge for them. It's going to be very successful. And because I mean, it's not even just sugarcane. I mean, think of all the other places that need this too, that have it out there. I mean, your huge warehouses, like you have your grocery store chains. I mean, all of them. I mean, even I was looking at it the other day. I wanted to see. I was like, even outside of these apartments I was walking by, I saw those boxes that they put them in, like where they hold their food, but it was poison boxes. So think if they replace all those poison boxes with that, the potential there, I mean, it's endless.
Yeah. And man, he always has a surprise for us. They don't PR a lot. This is not a very promotional company. I mean, they have a lot of exciting things going on. Like I've seen companies that will press release each and every one of these things. Like that map he showed us of Chicago. You can press release that out, like new real time track our progress in Chicago. That could be a press release. They have San Francisco. I mean, when they ship the product, it's a press release. When they start the trial, it's a press release. Like they don't do that, So there's a lot going on with this company. If they were a little bit more promotional, maybe the stock would be doing even better. But there's obviously risk here in that they don't have a ton of cash. They have maybe 3/4 of cash right now. But as I said, if they get a big order within 3/4, if Chicago says, hey, we're going to order this product, or New York City says it, or any one of these, San Francisco, or a big box retailer says, we're going to, carry it in our stores, like they're on Walmart.com now, I think. If like Walmart and the stores carry, I mean, there's so many catalysts that can happen over the next 3, 5, 6 months before they're forced to do another capital raise that could cause the stock to really be a big multi-bagger. So, because of because they're a paid sponsor, I kind of decided not to trade this in my trade account, but I'm like, okay, I'll just hold it. I can do that. with no problem, with no conflict. So I just hold this in my retirement account, and either it works and I'm up 5 to 10 times within a year, or it doesn't work and I lose whatever my allocation is, or just goes down 50%. So whatever it is. So I think it's a really fabulous opportunity, and it'll be crazy if they do get one of these things. If they get a big order from Chicago, the stock is going to go insane.
Oh yeah, and not only that, to mention, Ben, I also want to mention, like, every single time I go into a Tractor Supply, so they're on Tractor Supply, they're on their e-commerce online store. They're not in the stores yet, but at the same time, every single time I go into Tractor Supply, I always see 1 to 2 people in that aisle looking at all the rodent and pests and all that they have for, like, the mat, the rats, the mice, and all that too.
Big business.
So if you can get that in the stores, I mean, that's going to be a huge benefit for them as well.
It's a big business. So, all right, let's wrap things up over here. A little summary where we're at, and then we'll continue with their Discord chat throughout the rest of the day. But man, look at this ISRLW. This has been a core holding of mine, probably, I don't know, at this point, like 4 months. And we're getting that sucked up pump, which is great. I still have over 100,000 shares of this baby. 11 cents, up 27%. So that's nice. There's a rumor out there, some speculation that this is a SPAC that they're trying to merge with a drone company, an Israeli drone company. It's for drone deliveries, not for drone warfare. So drone delivery company. We got in this around 7 cents. It pulled back. Look at that, all the way at 5 cents because of the market macro conditions. Big bounce back. That the company would like to retire all of these warrants before the de-SPAC occurs. So maybe even together with the announcement that the merger is complete, at the same time they would be like, we're going to buy out all the warrants for 50 cents. There's a rumor I heard like 4 months ago, and that's why I got in this at 5, 6, 7 cents. And obviously that'll be like a 4-bagger from here if that comes true. So 11.5 cents by 12 cents right now. So big move in ISRLW today. Core holding about 2% position in my trade account here, up 28% today. The other thing is that I'm really focused in on today is Salem Media on this Donald Trump Jr. news. Things would be a lot more exciting if this was not a pink sheet. You'd see a lot more volume, maybe a lot more volatility, but this is something I've been buying on the dips, sold some at $1.40 resistance live on the show here with you guys this morning, and I got back in on these dips. So probably a 2.5% position in Salem Media in my trade account right now. That's something I feel pretty good about holding the rest of the day today, maybe even into tomorrow on this news. Unfortunately, since it's a pink sheet, there won't be after hours price action on this. So definitely not as interesting as it could be if it was not a pink sheet. Other things we're looking at here, obviously Netflix broke that 975 resistance and started moving towards their 1,000 next resistance that we had. Earnings are later this week, but I'm really focused on Webull. This is the Webull app you're looking at right now, the desktop app. And I was away yesterday, so I didn't have a chance to participate in this. And Friday was a travel day for me. I should have gotten some on my travel day, just swing, because I love Webull. But look at that. Our community made bank on Webull over the last couple days. And I'm a little bit late, but maybe not too late. All right. Stepping into some Webull warrants in our Discord. The Godfather Knows is guiding us on the opportunities in Webull warrants, on the fair value for Webull, where he thinks fair value is at. There is a potential that these Webull warrants can still go up in multi-bagger fashion here over the next month or so, but you don't want to do that blindly. You'd like to get that guidance from the Godfather Knows on that. So that's Webull. Let me just throw these to the top, the things I have my eyes on here the rest of the day. So we have SenesTech and Salem Media, ISRLW. We got Webull and the Webull warrants. Webull and the Webull warrants. All right. Huge call this morning by Rocket Lab. Rhett, you nailed this entry this morning. It hit my first target here, and then it hit the second target to the penny of 22.16 was the second target after it broke that resistance at 21.39. It got to 22.20. So great call out in our Discord, Rhett, early this morning on Rocket Lab. You did great on that one. Berna continues to perform, but I have been taking some profits on this today. Didn't have a chance to sell any yesterday because I was out, but I've been taking some profits today. Still looking great. ASPI bouncing back. This one has not worked yet today, but we are collaborating on it. And there's some contracts, specific contract call options that have been called out that we're trading together collaboratively in our community. So you want to check that out. So if you want to be part of all this action over here, storytrading.com/Discord, and you can join for, I would just change that banner there, put that new banner in while I check this comment. Gene Hackman property showed rodent infestation after a hantavirus check. Interesting. Yeah, you never know. Maybe SenesTech will become a meme stock. Hantavirus, oh my God, what's the caused by rodents? Let's get into SenesTech, baby. So this is someone on X pointing that out here. More than meets the eye is his handle here on X. Thanks for listening and for that feedback on SenesTech and hantavirus. So what do we got there? Pre-market 30, that's the code. Pre-market 30 for 30% off. We'll see you in our Discord, storytrading.com/Discord. Thanks for joining us. The only community where the official trade account of the principal is up 110% year to date. You won't find that anywhere else, guys. Good luck, everyone. Take care.
Take care.